Welcome to the Empty Netters podcast. Can you believe what this has become?
There was a full 48 hours where I felt like I was like literally Superman.
Jumbo loves playing Fortnite, so he gets on the sticks.
Did TR show you the sauna cycle, or was that all
No, I invented that.
Almost a year now that I haven't taken a body check. That's kind of nice.
Finished tonight with some chicken fingers and a few Guinnesses, ran into you guys, and that's where this pod came to life.
Ice is ready, and we are back with another episode of the Empty Netters podcast, brought to you by BetMGM. I'm your host, Dan Powers, over here on the sticks. He's happy because the Penguins are on a heater. Evan Watkins.
Hi. Way to out me as a homer for the Pen.
People need to know.
They need to know.
People need to know. And over here to my left, he's happy because his knees stopped making that weird clicking noise every time he gets out of bed.
Did they? As always. I've actually found a new morning routine.
Okay.
It's 5 minutes. Do it every morning. It's a lot of twisting, a lot of bending, and I don't know if it works.
Is that actually true? Are you actually doing that?
No, I swear to God. Sandra thinks it's the dumbest thing she's ever seen in her life.
So you're actually waking up every morning and doing stretches.
I've been doing, I wouldn't call them stretches. I'd call them jumping.
You're jumping?
Yep.
It's good for your lymph nodes.
Yeah. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom.
You know about this?
What?
Yeah, lymph nodes. Like move them around.
To like get up and jump.
If you if you like go hard down on your heels, it like gives your lymph nodes a little drainage.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been seeing a lot of stuff about gua shas recently with the lymph nodes.
Yeah,
or
the
lymphatic fluid, and
Yeah.
people are like, "Don't buy a gua sha. Use your fingers. They're natural gua sas, and you just like do stuff like this and then like drain it out."
But gua sas are better.
And it looks. You changed.
So listen,
What the hell happened? I bet you're thinking, Chris looks different than the intro of the episode. What's going on? You'd be right. Do you look different too?
Oh, yeah, there we go.
I do now, bro.
Yep.
So we recorded, we were minding our business, we're making thumbnails, we're working our buns off.
And then some breaking news.
And then who tweeted it? Schefter.
Holy Schefter.
Like, what the fuck, dude?
Unbelievable. We got Schefter up in the biz now. This is crazy.
So I literally ran from there to here. I'm acquiring this information as we speak.
We're doing just a quick insert of breaking news because we couldn't have this episode come out without talking about the biggest news of Wednesday. Artemi Panarin traded from the New York Rangers to the LA Kings. Here are the full details for you.
Okay,
Panarin
thank you.
to the Kings, 50% retained.
Yeah, we knew that, though. We said that in that episode.
Had to happen.
Yep.
He signs a 2-year extension, 11 mil AAV. So like just kind of essentially just replaces the Kopi. So I mean like it's way more than Kopi. But
Yeah, right.
But either way, the Rangers get prospect Liam Greentree, who was selected, I believe, 24th overall in the 2024 draft. A conditional 2026 third-round pick, that becomes a second if LA wins one playoff series this year, and a conditional 2028 fourth-round pick. Huge, huge trade, and not the return Rangers fans expected.
Well, there was who tweeted out those rumors, Elliot, about the Sharks and the
I saw that on Shout Out Hockey News, but or maybe it was Puck Empire, I don't know. But rumors were Rangers hit up the Sharks and they were like, "Hey, you want Panarin? Give us Will Smith." And the Sharks were like, "Lol, no."
Yep.
Then they went to the Caps and they were like, "Give us Ryan Leonard." And the Caps were like, "Lol, no."
So when you see that as a Rangers fan and you think, even though you got hung up on, when you see the names you were asking for, to see what you got now, I understand why you're rattled. I mean, we've been getting a ton of texts. We got a text from Schwicke that was like, who are big Rangers fans being like, "Make this make sense to me, dude. How is this okay?" I'm here to tell you, this was worse than I thought, but closer to what I thought than Rangers fans are thinking. Like, we're here, right? I was expecting them to get this. Rangers fans are expecting them to get this. And I'm telling you, you were only ever going to get this.
Yeah.
So you came in a little under for sure, but you were not getting some fucking young megastar back for a dude who was leaving for free. Period. Was leaving for free.
Yeah.
So
listen, it always sucks when this happens. You know what's ironic is this happened in favor of the Rangers with Patrick Kane years ago.
Yes,
like
Dan.
Kaner was like, I am leaving. I am not signing here. I'm on the way out, and I only want to go to the Rangers.
Yep.
So the Rangers fleeced the Hawks. Like it is what it is. Now this has kind of happened in return. Panarin has 57 points in 52 games, 19 goals. This is a good get for the Kings. Artemi Panarin is obviously a phenomenal player. He is also 34 years old.
Not that old, but old.
I mean, that's pretty old, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you have, 4 years left? Not everyone's Ovechkin. Not everyone's
right.
Malkin. Not everyone's Crosby.
But he's got the 2-year extension. Those are 2 good years in my mind.
I would
it's
say,
not like, oh, wow, now he's dead. I'm like, you're going to get
I would
80
say
points,
2 good years, but I would say he's trending down.
Sure.
He went 90. He had in 82 games, his 2023 All-Star year, 92 points, 29 goals. Then, for the first time in his career the next year, in 2023-24, 120 points in 82 games. Then last year, 89 in 80. Now this year, 57 and 52. He's playing at 85, 90 point pace.
And I think he can give you 2 more 90s. Like even with your trending down, I'm like, I think he gives you 2 more 90s.
So here's the question.
Maybe not on the Kings.
Can he do that in Jim Hiller's system?
Yeah.
So again, I like this trade for LA. They just got better, a lot better. This is a right shot power play specialist, the 29th ranked power play in the NHL for the LA Kings. That is about to go up.
Yeah.
Like, this guy's immediately on your top line.
Yeah.
He's immediately on your power play. He's probably playing with Kuzmenko. Like, there's a world where Kuzmenko gets way better because of this. This guy's going to make other people better. He's an insane playmaker. He's a great, great player. However, I feel like a big gripe with Kings fans has been they just trade all of their prospects. And like, Liam Greentree is a good prospect. Like, let's get into that for a second.
Yes, please.
Liam Greentree, 2 years ago, first round pick. Last season, lit the OHL on fire with the Windsor Spitfires. 49 goals, 70 assists, 119 points. He is a big-bodied. He's like 6'2", 6'3", 200-pound winger. He's got no 2 front teeth. He's a fucking bruiser already with an NHL body already. He's got every report about him says he's got great high hockey IQ. He sees the ice. He's got great vision. And that's Alex DeBrincat shit, dude.
Yes.
Like, you're scoring damn near 50 goals. This year he's got 23 goals, 22 assists, 45 points in 34 games. A little bit slower pace than last year, but like, he's a player. He's a fucking player.
And I want to say too that even though Greentree isn't this like top 10 prospect that everyone's juicing over, he's the Kings' top ranked prospect. Like, if you and don't also forget, Panarin was going to get to decide where I wanted to go, and he could really limit the Rangers on if he said behind closed doors, I will literally only go there.
Yeah.
Then you are screwed. And the best you can get is the best prospect they have. I'm not saying that's exactly what happened, but I'm saying if Panarin provided a limited amount of landing spots, the best you can do is their best prospect, which Liam is in LA.
Yeah.
So that's, you get what you get.
So I want to say to the Rangers fans out there, number one, this is good. As in, you're selling.
Agree.
We knew we were always going to sell Panarin. We came into this day. It was a sweepstakes day for Panarin because they were like, he's being moved before the roster freeze. So we always knew this was going to happen. Liam Greentree is a great player. The idea of Liam Greentree playing on the wing, a wing of Gabe Perreault in the future should be very, very exciting to Rangers fans.
Yes.
I would get fired up about that. A lot of people are going, I can't believe this return. This is a fleecing. How did they not get a first, or at least a conditional first? I think this is what you talked about, like that. I don't know that was ever in the cards.
Ever, Dan.
At the end of the day, this is a 34-year-old player on an expiring contract. He's a great player, absolutely. But let's call it what it is. I am personally shocked that there was 50% salary retention and there was an extension. I thought this was maybe he'll extend at the end of the year, and because Panarin, Frank Saravelli said this was the only team that really Panarin's camp was talking about. Panarin likes big cities. Think about it. He was in Chicago, then obviously pit stop in Columbus, but then chooses the New York Rangers. Now he's choosing Los Angeles. It makes sense. Like, he wants to be in a big city. But given that the extension was in place, I am a little bit like, yikes.
Yep.
How do we not get a little bit more?
Yep.
But if LA somehow wins that sounded so mean, if they win a first round series and you get a second round pick, it's not going to be the best second round pick, but if you get a second round pick and you get Liam Greentree, at the end of the day, you're like, that's pretty good.
It's okay.
It's expiring player who had your nuts.
That's it.
He was like, I'm not re-signing here and I'm only going to LA.
Right, exactly. That's what I was about to say.
He had your nuts.
That's what it sounds like. If he went, I'm going to one team, you are fucked. Yeah. And you could say as a Rangers fan, like, come on, dude, we did right by you. Do us a solid and give us a 5-team list. So at least we can start a bidding war. If that didn't happen, then sucks to suck. But this is the situation. And he, as you said, had your nuts.
Yeah.
So he wants to play in LA.
Yeah.
It's done.
Frank's saying here too, other teams were, they'd been preparing to offer neighborhood of 4 years, 11.75 mil. So like this is, and here's the thing, man, a lot of shit talk on, Ken Holland by a lot of people with so far what he's done or what he's not done with the Kings. This is a good trade.
Yes.
This is a win for the Kings. They just
Especially
got better
for this year.
Yep.
Come on.
They just got better. They didn't give up too much. Again, Liam is a great player, but like that conditional third and a future, like who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck about those? Ultimately, Liam Greentree was not making the Kings better this year, and the Kings are in win now mode. Like it's Kopi's last year. You're trying to get back in. Or are they in they currently have a playoff spot?
They're out.
They're just out.
Barely.
Yeah, they're just barely
they'll
out.
get in.
Yeah.
So out by 1 point, and you've got a game in hand on Seattle.
And the Pacific's
like,
a fucking
you want to win
clown
tonight
show right now.
Yeah.
So it's like
yeah.
And people are gonna make moves. Vegas already got Rasmus. Things are going to happen.
Like think about this: the Kings have played 54 games. They have 60 points. So 55 points just ahead of them in the wild card, Seattle with 61. So if you win your next game, you're in playoffs. If you win your next 2 games, you're ahead of Utah. Anaheim has 56 games, so 2 more games. They only have 63 points, so you would be ahead of them. You'd be third. And here's the crazy one. Edmonton has 64 points, and Vegas has 64 points. Edmonton has 57 games.
Yeah.
So give the Kings 3 games. If they win those, they're at 66. They're ahead of Edmonton.
Yep. So my 2 biggest final takeaways for this are, one, the Kings have acquired Panarin, but also none of their competitors acquired Panarin. If you know what I mean. Like he was such a hot commodity. He was obviously getting moved, not maybe getting moved, obviously getting moved. So Panarin is going to go to some playoff team.
Correct.
It might as well be you. So this was a big move for 2 reasons, both bolstering yourself and hurting everyone else you're competing against.
Yeah.
Because it was Colorado, it was Dallas. Like there were places where you're like, Jesus Christ, are they about to add bread, man? So you do. That's awesome. Second, and it's, I'm sure other teams were calling him for this exact reason too. This getting done pre-Olympic break is so awesome because you were going to come back. If it hadn't got done for any teams, you'd come back. It's such a mad scramble to the deadline. Everyone's trying to get back in the flow of it. Then you trade for him. He's got to come over, try to find a place to live, try to meet everybody, all this bullshit in an absolute whirlwind. He is Russian. He is not going to the Olympics. I'm sure maybe he's got a little trip planned, but he can come here and chill for time.
Go to In-N-Out.
Go try In-N-Out, baby.
Go do some In-N-Out.
Get settled. I swear that's actually so important for this moment
of
time.
Dude.
Come here. We're good. Rest up. Find a place to live. Everything's awesome. And then
You're essentially taking a vacation.
dude, you hit the ground running.
Come to the South Bay, baby. Like
I'm sure all the boys that aren't at Olympics will be hitting him up. Anyone who's back in town will be like, dude, let's hang, let's have beers, whatever. That is, you never get this in the NHL. Like you never get, because even if you trade before the deadline, the season's fucking going. So you're thrown in the mixer whenever it happens. This is free money, dude, that you just get to come hang out, meet the boys, meet the city, everything's good, and then you hit the ground running.
That's so true. Like he can come here, basically going from the tundra of New York right now to Hermosa Beach. They'll probably
bring you sunblock.
They'll probably start looking at houses right away. Maybe he just takes Kopi's house, dude. Kopi's leaving.
That would be sick.
That'd be the greatest transfer of all time.
Yeah, that'd be so sick.
Fucking $30 million.
Leave it
Easy.
furnished. Yeah.
I love this for Panarin. It'll be, and you know what? I know a lot of Kings fans are like, dude, we need young players. But like I've said, you've got young players.
Yep.
Like you've got talent. And frankly, this is a pretty cool feeling. Like you've got Kopi, this amazing 2-way player, great, amazing playmaker who's leaving. And that was like a gutting, like, fuck, geez, we're losing our captain. But now you get this insane playmaker, leader, guy who has worn leather. So I think there's going to be an element too for this team that's like, fuck yeah, we got him for 2 more years. That's pretty sick. So we'll see. I think the big question is, what does Jim Hiller do with this guy? This is if I'm Artemi Panarin and you look around the league at coaches who are great for your style of play, I'm not looking at Jim Hiller.
Yep.
So you wonder if Jim Hiller and his defense first, like really boring, frankly, style of play is going to look at an Artemi Panarin and what he can do to the power play, what he can do to just 5v5 hockey. And if he goes, great, this is a piece we needed, now we can adjust a little bit. You would hope that.
You kind of have to, because I think you probably had hard conversations with Holland going, dude, if I'm going to make a move like this, then you will act accordingly.
Correct.
Yeah.
So fucking A. Huge pickup. Huge pickup. Now let's get back.
Let's back to our regularly scheduled pod, and
we got a pretty sweet episode today too. Lots of nice, fun, hot ice to talk about. The professors are back. We got Bayne Pettinger on the pod to talk about his amazing story and also get hyped for Olympics. Unbelievable stuff. Let's jump right in. Hot ice topics. I can't go another day on this pod without talking about Connor McDavid's Player Tribune article.
That is correct. The Players Tribune is a great. Who started the Players Tribune?
I don't know.
Was
but
it
it's
LeBron?
Maybe.
Fuck. I hope not. It was, wasn't it?
I don't know. I vaguely remember
like
that.
Jeter, but then I was like,
That
it
would be
is
sick.
founded
It's
by Derek Jeter.
Oh, it was Jeter. Okay.
That checks out. It
I was like, I
che-
swear it's
the
somebody.
Players Tribune would be something that LeBron would say he came up with Jeter, but he let Jeter take it. LeBron would be like this. Oh yeah, I remember when DJ was talking about that, and we said it would be a great idea, and I wanted him to have it. I wanted him to be the first one to launch that. That's something LeBron would.
Yeah. Anytime I see a Players Tribune article drop, I get fired up. Because it's always
awesome.
It's always awesome. every time. Does not miss.
The Players Tribune is Christopher Nolan.
Yep.
The hit rate is 100%.
So then I saw a McDavid one, and I was like, whoa. Yeah, I cannot wait to read that. Then I went to read it, and I kind of assumed it was going to be how proud I am to be Canadian and how excited I am to go to the Olympics. And a lot of stuff which is in there. But it was so much cooler than that. I can't even wrap my brain around the emotions I'm feeling. I literally feel like I have just received my first boner, and I'm going like, what is this? What is happening? That's how I currently feel about Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers right now. And Canada.
Yeah. I mean, I've long said this. When Connor McDavid came into the NHL, I bought his rookie year All-Star t-shirt.
Yeah.
And I've loved him ever since. But being enamored with Florida over the last couple of years and loving the stuff that we get to do with that team, there's definitely a part of me that was like, this is so fun. I love seeing the Cats win, Florida hockey, this, that, the other. But this fucking article was so brutal for me because it was, as someone who loves drama, we always talk about that on the show. We love drama. It is now clear that he will never leave Edmonton, ever, in a million years. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm saying that given that we like drama, no drama will come. It also means that we are all rooting for them now.
Yeah.
Like there's no... We've always said, like, I want to see Connor and Leon and all those guys win a cup. But now it's like, I need it.
They have to.
This man cut his bachelor party short because he was so pissed. That is like, that. If that's not you're the biggest fucking hockey guy I've ever seen in my life, I don't know what is. So we're now all rooting for them. But then also, the way I read that and then was like, I am so fired up as a Canadian, as a Canadian national. That's how it made me feel. Reading what he said about like putting on the Canada jersey and wanting to win for Canada, wanting to win for Edmonton, I was like, I am Canadian right now. And I'm like, fuck me. Like if I'm a member of Team USA and I read that Players Tribune, I'm like, oh my God. Fuck.
I don't want to spoil the Bayne interview because he talks about this, but it is crazy to think that because these guys haven't been going to international tournaments, Connor McDavid hasn't won something in so long.
Yeah.
Other than a billion individual trophies. But it was a really cool insight where he's like, I haven't won.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, true.
Truly, I didn't
Imagine
think
being
about
the
that.
best player and being like, I don't ever get to
Yeah.
win.
Like,
And I'm like, oh, yeah,
that was
sucks.
nuts. Like, he was like, what was it? Like, the last time he won was a World Junior.
Yeah. Let's see. I'll find it.
But yeah, like he was like, I have not won anything in forever. And so he was like pulling on that sweater and winning at Four Nations just made me be like, oh, fuck yeah.
And how sick was it when he was like, he called out like Dewey. He's like, I'm looking across the room and just like Dewey and Marshy are just
Sid.
chilling.
Yeah,
Sid just chilling. And then also, I got to text him, shout out, what a fucking name drop Mac got in this, where he's like, I'm thrilled to be here. Like the very end, dude. He's like, pulling on that sweater, being in a room with the different generations of great players, Sid and Nate and Celebrini and all those guys. I was like, Mac.
Well, fucking hell yeah, dude.
what a call.
Mac's
out.
got fucking 80 points.
I was like,
in the national right now.
holy shit, dude. That was fucking chills.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Everything you said about Canada, agree. I was like, Jesus Christ. And dude, I know you are too. Nothing will make me happier on earth than Team USA winning gold against this Canadian team. But holy shit, have I never been more scared in my life,
truly,
of this Canadian team.
Like, I don't know how
reading this article.
I don't know how you beat this team and this collection of human beings. And just, dude, if I were on Team Canada and I read that Players Tribune article, I would be so fucking rock hard. I'd be walking around as if I accidentally OD'd on a bottle of Viagra, and being like, someone would go, what's going on down there? And I'd go like this, I'm playing on a team with Connor McDavid in these Olympics. That's what's going on. That's what's going on.
So I also want to say about the Oilers stuff. I have two more things I want to talk about. I'll start with the Oilers stuff. You're right. I am now like, oh, okay, he will die in Edmonton.
He'll never leave.
For good or for bad. And I'm actually kind of even confused about the deal he just signed, considering what I know now to be true about him. I'm like, dude, why didn't you just take an 8-year burger and be like, whatever, I'm never leaving.
I don't know. I don't know either. I think it was just maybe to give another year of better cap situation.
Yeah, flex. Maybe
potentially
in 2 years he signs for 9.7.
But this guy, man, he also just stuffed everyone in a locker.
Oh my God.
If that makes me a robot, then I'm a robot.
That was the next thing I wanted to talk about. Yeah,
it's felt like this dude has just been wanting to win a Stanley Cup for the last 10 years, and he's just been dealing with it left, right, and center with the media, with the questions, with this, that. And he's just been seeing people go, oh yeah, he doesn't like talking to us. This guy's a robot. He's boring. He's got mental issues. And he must just be going home to his lovely wife and being like, what the fuck is wrong with everybody? I'm just trying to win here. I just love hockey. And then he got the taste, dude. Someone gave him a nice little taste of that black tar heroin that is winning.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, baby. They lose in the cup, obviously, but that probably only made it better because he was like, yeah, I won. I got that taste again, but then I also got the sting of losing. And I'm like, I liked the taste more. So they're coming in. I mean, if I'm shitting my britches if I'm Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota right now. If I'm Vegas right now.
He had that one line where he goes, this room knows what it takes to elevate in playoffs.
Yep.
I'm like, the entire Central is now dead. The entire Central has now been put to rest.
Correct.
Because the Pacific stinks, and they are easily making the Western Conference Finals. And then I thought, man, it's going to be a tough series against the Avs or Dallas. What? They don't give a flying fuck about the Avs or Dallas or Minnesota.
And everyone keeps forgetting a little man named Zach Hyman is back.
Yep.
He's healthy again. 38 games, 36 points, 22 goals. Like, that dude was not playing in that final. People forget that very conveniently. So
and Florida's not even going to make playoffs. There's no Florida standing in your way.
Dude, that is very possible now. Like, it is shaky knees time in Florida.
So it was actually funny because Connor goes, he kind of stuffed you in a locker being like, oh, I hear all the fucking robot talk. Fuck you. But then he was also like this. Also, I am a robot because all I care about is winning hockey games. And I was like, you know what? You're right. we shouldn't call you a robot, but actually we should because you are, but there's nothing wrong with that. Robot inclusivity.
Put
Hell
it
yes.
this way, man. I am like, you are, buy your ticket to Edmonton right now. Cause I am telling you.
Yeah. Whatever the future is, whatever the future on the fucking Oilers Cup right now, hammer it. Hammer that.
I want to smash right now a parlay of Canada winning gold and the Edmonton Oilers winning Stanley Cup.
Dude.
Because that Players Tribune article was essentially the sports almanac from Back to the Future. That's what it was.
McDavid Conn Smythe, Oilers Cup, and Canada gold.
Let's go.
Parlay.
Let's go McDavid Hart, Canada gold, McDavid Conn Smythe, Oilers Cup.
Put that in your pipe and fucking smoke it, dude. Then we're all living on a beach.
Smoke it and get higher.
Dude, then we all go to the Bahamas with Connor after that.
Correct. And
then
we go
we
like
rest.
This. Hey, this is your cup celebration and your bachelor party situation.
You can't bring a robot to the beach. He'll rust.
Yeah, that's why he had to leave.
True.
Yeah. He's like Tin Man.
Stop it, guys. You're making the mistake.
No, this is what, Dan,
we love him.
He's finally being his true self here.
Oh, it's the 2026, man. It's the year of Connor. I've never seen anything more clearly. And that article, if you weren't already a Connor McDavid fan, if you're not now, I mean, I don't care. I don't care what you have to say, because this is like, I'm just rooting hard. We're talking about him winning gold in Canada. Let's talk about Team Canada. Anthony Cirelli is out, banged up, not going to be playing. Immediately, Sam Bennett goes in.
Yep.
You'll hear from Bayner. Cooper was like desperate to get Sam Bennett, and that pumps me up because there were those awesome quotes. I know I mentioned this later, but like those awesome quotes after Four Nations talking about Sam Bennett, and Cooper was like, when I called Sam Bennett and told him like he might not play that much, Bennett was like, I don't give a fuck. I'll do whatever. Mm-hmm. That's a guy you want in the foxhole for sure.
Oh my God, dude. I think, again, we won't spoil this part of the Bayne interview because that was cool, but I'm fascinated by dude, I would kill to have a doc release that's the decision, the war room when they made the decisions for the Olympic rosters. Just because I'm like, there's so much speculation of, of course the Blues GM takes a blue, and we're all just guessing, but I'm like, what happened? What was the actual conversations? And, teaser, but this was a really cool mini inside look at what goes on. I cannot believe if John Cooper was pushing this hard for Bennett that he didn't make the team.
Well, what? It just goes to show how hard the roster is.
Yep. I am thrilled that he's on the team. I'm devastated for Cirelli.
So
it sucks. All these injuries suck. Even in the beginning of the year, we were saying the Barkov shit. Every time someone goes down, you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
What about Olympics? This is damn near as close as it could have possibly happened, so it stings even worse.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure Cirelli's like, everything's booked, his family's coming, and then you're like, actually, I'm not going. Nightmare. So that sucks for him big time. Thrilled for Bennett. He's thrilled. He couldn't be happier to be there. For me, if I needed anything else to be afraid of after that Players Tribune article, as an American hockey fan, I think this team makes the team scarier, personally. And that's not a knock on Cirelli at all. I'm just like, Sam Bennett in these moments, I'm like, anytime you can get one of the most big game players in the league away from me in big moments, that's a win. And now here comes Sam Bennett, who scored in the gold medal game at Four Nations.
You know what my favorite thing about Sam Bennett is this season? We said we were like, Sam Bennett has to be on this team.
Yep.
And that's not...
Osh said that, remember?
It's
we were talking early. He was like, no way does Sam Bennett not make this team.
Yeah, it's not a knock on anyone. It's just a matter of like, he's just got to be on this team. Sam Bennett, everyone was going nuts about his slow start. He's on pace for a career year.
Yep.
He has 42 points in 55 games, 19 goals, 23. Like, he's just playing so well.
Yeah, maybe he'd been playing a shitload of hockey over the last 3 years and just eased into the season.
So it is like so fucking unfair, and USA would have this too, but it is so unfair that you lose a guy for Team Canada and go, oh, we'll take Sam Bennett. And you're like, what? What are you fucking saying?
He wasn't
to me?
here yet. Yeah,
like, it's just crazy.
Yep.
It's I got a text from a buddy that was like, Canada suffers a brutal injury and then the team gets better.
Yeah.
and again, like,
that's kind of what I mean.
I'm not saying that because I think Ant is amazing.
Yep.
I think it's the best, like, oh, you just lost an
We're good.
incredibly
Yeah.
perfect piece of this team. You put in an incredibly perfect piece of this team, and that's just it. You're like, Jesus fucking Christ, Canada,
So
get
crazy.
out of here.
Yeah, that was that is an embarrassment of riches.
Yeah. Listen, I'll say this, though, to your question before we move on. You asked, does USA feel more scared? I think there is an element of the IIHF difference that
Fair.
You know, I don't think Benny in the Olympics is going to be able to maybe be as much of a pest. Like, he's not going to be donkey punching goalies or you know, fighting anybody. But I think he can still just be a thorn in your side. And this is what we always say, and this is why you got to put him on your team. We talked to him when he came on the pod this past summer. He might be one of the top 5 big game players in the NHL.
That's what I was about to
It's
say.
like this guy just elevates every single playoffs, that's why he wins Conn Smythe. So I think from that standpoint, not just USA, any team going up against them, you're like, fuck, I hate that this dude's here because he just knows how to play in the big game.
Dude, the narrative is like, oh, he's gonna punch people, but I'm like, actually, what he's gonna do is score in Four Nations gold medal.
He's
game.
gonna fucking
score 1 billion goals in the final and win Conn Smythe.
He's going to level somebody.
Yeah.
He's then going to pick up the puck, go down the ice, and dipsy doodle dangle sesh
Remember
goal.
that moment. That was fucking insane.
That's what he's going to do.
Yeah, that's epic.
Yeah.
So, sorry, Ant. Get well soon.
Yep.
Win yourself a cup.
Yep.
Be all right. Bennett, let's go. See you in Milan.
Yeah.
I brought this up to you the other day, and I just looked it up just because I was curious.
Yeah, this was interesting.
I was like, I forget where did I say that on one of the
I
pods?
think you might have said it to Bayner.
Okay, yeah, but I was like, I almost wish the Olympic roster selection was based on points. Like literally, like this is what I said. That's what I was saying. The Ryder Cup in golf goes 6 of the picks are just the top point scorers in golf. Like who's playing well this year. So even if you're a megastar, if you're having a bad year, you're like, you didn't make the Ryder Cup team. Sorry. It's literally a point system. And I was like, it would be cool to see what the rosters would be like if they were just taking, because 5 of the top 10 American scorers are not on the team.
Right. Is it?
I'm like,
I heard it was like that the roster building was more about like toughness maybe for the Americans, and everybody's kind of going like, why are we not going for skill and scoring here?
It's with the discussion that we keep having is the Miracle team poisoned USA hockey's brains permanently. And it's the reason it's the last time the US won a gold in the Olympics in hockey, in men's hockey. And it is because that was a time where the skill could not match up to other teams. They could not match up to the Soviets, could not match up to Canada. So it was, we got to beat them with toughness and with endurance and skating and this and that. But now the skill can match up. And yet we're still not building the roster.
Yeah, you're prioritizing that underdog storyline.
Yes. It's like we got to beat them with toughness. And I'm like, or check this out. They win gold every year with skill.
Yeah.
We have skill now. What if we try to use that? It's very interesting that we still don't do it.
yeah. So I didn't do D because like it's kind of unfair to do like points for defensemen because I'm like some guys you are adding because you're a great defenseman.
Yeah.
But the 14 forwards
Also,
for Canada.
you are prejudiced against D. You are a fucking prick.
Fuck D.
It's D erasure, man.
It's just like, here we go again. No one talking about D. Thanks
I
a
actually
lot.
think we should have brought 22 forwards. for
I bet
both
you
teams
do.
And just
I
play.
bet you do.
Just
You
go.
fucking
no goalies.
Yeah.
you scumbag.
80 to 40
Yeah.
scores.
This guy doesn't care about D at all.
Top 14 Canadian scorers in the league as of yesterday. McDavid
On the team.
Nate
On the team.
Mac
On the team.
Shifley
Not on the team.
Suzuki
On the team.
Sid
On the team.
Wyatt
Not on the team.
Marner
On the team.
Stone
On the team.
TK
Not on the team.
Reinert
On the team.
Bedard
Not on the team.
Hagel
On the team.
O'Reilly
Not on the team.
and Geeky missed by 1 point. It's like, damn.
That's crazy that Geeky isn't. I mean, he's scoring so many goals.
I know.
He's on his fucking Austin Matthews shit.
So that, looking at that team, Dan, you're not like, this is terrible. You know, like I think you'd go, fuck, like we're missing Marshy. You know, Bennett ended up getting added, but you're missing Bennett. You're missing a Tom Wilson. You're missing a Bo Horvat. But I'm like, I don't think anyone has any problem taking this team to Italy.
And so, yeah, I mean, that team is fantastic.
Yeah.
That's why we said they could ice 2 teams. I can't believe how impressed I am with Ryan O'Reilly.
Same.
Ryan O'Reilly
I had
is
to triple check that.
Yeah,
I was like,
Ryan O'Reilly has 53 points in 55 games, I think, 20 goals.
Literally.
I mean, this is a guy who was in the this is a guy who was in the locker room earlier this year being like, I suck, we suck, everything's falling apart, and he's just having a great fucking year.
Yep.
He might get dealt at the deadline and get Nashville a fucking hefty piece back.
That'd be cool. That'd be really
You're
cool.
telling me based on points alone with how many forwards did we just do?
14. The top 14 Canadian
Top 14
scores.
Canadian scores in the league.
It's
He's
him.
in there?
Yeah. I was like,
Gee it. So, yeah, you're missing Bennett, Horvat, Marshy, Tom Wilson.
And Marshy slowed down. And you'll see this more on the American side, but injuries is a factor. Like, I almost would argue if I were to actually push this to the boards, it would be point per game instead of
because Marshy has 50 points in 45 games.
Exactly. So I'm like, oh, you should be in there because you're over. Yeah. So like
Brad Marchand, you fucking beauty. 25 goals, 25 assists.
Amazing.
55 burgers, 55 fries, 55 shakes.
God, I love that show.
Oh wait, what do we need to make a reference to every episode again?
Oh yeah. Fuck.
Come on.
Oh, draft day.
Draft day. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna do split screens.
Just keep.
Brad,
guys, just keep that under your hats.
Dude, when I wish John Cooper, I bet John Cooper had a slip of paper that said Sam Bennett no matter what.
Cool. Does that count? We did it?
Yep.
He ate it.
Draft day.
And then he ate it.
He made a little prayer.
USA forwards. Jack Eichel.
On the team.
Robo.
Off the team.
Kyle Connor.
On the team.
Jake Gensel.
On the team.
Matt Boldy.
On the team.
Tage Thompson.
On the team.
Cole Caulfield.
Off the team.
DeBrincat.
Off the team.
Keller.
On the team.
Schmaltzy.
Off the team.
Larkin.
On the team.
The Bath. Man.
Off the team.
Cutter.
Off the team.
And then tied for the 14 with the same amount of points. Matthews, Brock, Tuck, Zegras.
On the team, off the team, off the team, off the team.
Brock made it, no?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Matt made it, missed.
Yeah.
Missing, depending on which way you go on 14.
Yeah.
Matthew Tkachuk, Brady Tkachuk,
injury,
Jack Hughes,
injury.
And then JT Vinny. That's it.
But you said JT Vinny Brock.
Well, because I was like, it depends on who you put on. Like if I say you made it, then Brock is missing.
Yeah.
If I say Brock made it, Matthews is missing.
Oh, I got you.
It depends on who get that 14 spot. But yeah, so this one would be a little crazier if they were like this. Matthew Tkachuk, Brady Tkachuk, Jack Hughes, and Austin Matthews aren't on the team. And I'd be like, well, I don't like this system anymore.
Well, you need those grinders. You gotta have role players.
But it is an interesting exercise to be like, why this isn't a lifetime achievement award. This is like who is firing right now.
Right.
Like who are we bringing to Italy right now because they're playing great? And I'm like, there's a ton of guys on this list who I'm like, they're playing better than our megastars. And I'm like, can you elevate your game? Yes, probably. But I just think there's something to like, oh, could we have not used Morgan Geeky's 40 fucking goals?
It's
probably.
Like, the US is just so confusing.
I know.
Can I ask a question?
Yep.
Yeah.
Do we have faith in Mike Sullivan here?
That's tough talk coming from you too. So
That is tough talk.
Well, I'm only saying that because the Rangers have not been great, and I just don't know going into that if you're a player looking at what he's been doing. And I have nothing against him, and I think he's a great coach, but like, it is a streaky game, not just for players, but for coaches as well. You know, and there's an aura around that.
I mean, we talk all the time about, it's funny that you're like, Mike Sullivan, the Rangers are in dead last place. Let's get you behind the bench here. And then also it's like JT Miller has destroyed 2 franchises in 12 months. And they're like, put him on the team. And I'm like, dude, okay. And whatever. But that's a tough look.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It is funny that the Canucks are last in the West and the Rangers are last in the East.
It's
and JT.
I'm not saying any, I'm just saying the facts. He was on both those teams.
Hey, they're saving it up for the Olympics. Don't worry. That's why they're not.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think we need to US hockey, listen. USA all the way.
USA.
But
this will be interesting, Dan.
If things in these games don't go well, I think maybe it's time to reassess what we do.
If this is a USA-Canada final and the USA loses a tight one, nothing will happen. But if the USA crashes out in the quarterfinals here or something, I think there will be a hard look.
I also think, what do you guys think about this? I think hockey, international hockey, should be treated like soccer in that we have international breaks. Relax. in that we have international breaks where the international teams play, just like friendly matches. And they should have specific coaches. I bet there's probably not the financing for that. That's why they don't do it. But I think it's dumb or not dumb. But I think it's interesting how like Mike Sullivan is the coach and John Cooper is the coach, and they're also the coach of NHL clubs. Yeah. And I'm like, there should be a USA hockey coach. That'd be cool.
That would be sick. And also with the amount of fucking dues I pay USA Hockey to play beer league, there's certainly a budget.
Like, I'm paying your salary.
Yeah, like Jesus Christ. So there's certainly a budget. That would be sick. And Dan,
it would just be so tough if, like in soccer, there's like we're doing an international break. And then guys get hurt playing for that would be tough.
But it was crazy in the Miracle Doc to hear that those guys played 60 games.
That was crazy. Have you watched that yet?
6-0.
Yeah, I watched. I kind of watched it while I was working, but yes, I watched most of it.
I couldn't fucking believe
60 games before the Olympics started. I'm like,
played a full NHL season.
This group of guys played an NHL season together.
No wonder they won.
Yeah, they coalesced.
Jesus
fucking
Christ, dude. These guys don't play together.
No,
like they show up and they go play Latvia.
But because it's chemistry, right? It's like you got to find that chemistry. So there's not a lot of time.
It's unbelievable,
crazy,
especially when you're in Italy. And isn't the rink up there messed up?
Tiny.
It's small, right? Isn't they're supposed to be bigger, right?
4 feet.
So
I think I saw.
What the hell?
Did I dream this? Yes. No, I didn't. Yes. I didn't dream it. I saw a video of like a Zamboni going around the rink. It looks great. They got a Jumbotron.
He hit the wall, kept hitting the wall.
No. It looked great. It looked great.
Too short.
I'm telling you guys, you got to be careful up there.
Yeah.
They built it really quick. So
no
lean on railings.
Like I said, nosebleeds too. So
you're going to.
Bluth model home.
Oh, shit.
We're going to be up there. You stand up too fast to celebrate a goal. All of a sudden, you're going to feel everything shaking.
I need you wearing a harness like Sting coming down from the rafters, WCW style, okay?
Could you imagine if the rink collapsed? I don't even want to say that.
No, let's not put that in the air.
We're not going to say it. Okay. Let's talk about the Penguins before we move on.
Yes.
This team, especially with Ev here, deserves a quick highlight before we get into all Olympics all the time.
Can I put my Homer hat on?
Put your Homer hat on.
Please.
That is a sick hat.
Thank you. Yeah, sometimes people see it at first and are like, where'd you serve? And I'm like, oh, wait, look at the top.
You're like, it's the Igloo.
Yeah. Console Energy Center. Or now I guess it's PPG Paint.
That's fucking awesome.
Anyway.
Okay, so the Penguins.
I don't have a clue what's happening.
Because, dude, they could not in the past keep the puck out of the net the last few years. That's been the real downfall. And plus 20 goal diff for their team, 8th in the league this year. Then that's a sturdy number. That's fantastic. They've got great splits, 13-8-7 at home, 15-7-5 on the road.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, they are comfortably right now not comfortably, but they are, in a playoff spot, in a locked playoff spot, while going 1-7 in OT shootouts this year, which is insane.
Horrible
that's
at the
so
shootout.
many points.
It's so bad.
They have Crosby, Malkin, Letang is when he's healthy usually good at the shootout, and somehow they biff it
every time,
always.
So they started hot, and we had a blast. I was like, oh wow, because dude. I don't need to say this again, but I was banging the drum of like trade Sid, this sucks. They started hot, and I went, oh, wow. I want him to stay if you're going to make playoffs and be fun.
And then they dipped pretty bad.
And then they dipped so bad that I was like, this is exactly everyone's worst fear. Oh, we just missed playoffs again, but we were too close to trade Sid and whatever. And I was like, God damn you.
Yeah.
God damn you, Pittsburgh. And now 11-2-2 in January.
And they're nasty. And it's, what's crazy that's happening is like let me pull up the Penguins stats here, because this team is they're doing things that I find very reminiscent of teams of the past. But it's like Sid is leading with 59 points, Gino 43 and 40. And like you've got Mantha with 20 goals, Rust with 19. He's about to have 20. And then there's guys like fucking Justin Brazeau.
Yep.
Few cooler stories in the league than Justin Brazeau.
Yeah,
like
correct.
He gets his first looks in Boston when he was like 25, 26. He's a stick on the golf course. Unbelievable. But now it's like, here he is, dude. He's got 27 points in 41 games. Like this is a guy. Wow, I've done that twice today. This is a guy who's going to have 20 goals in the NHL this season. That's fucking amazing. But that's what Sid does. And I'm not even saying they play together that much, but it's just being around him. It's the aura. All of a sudden, Brazeau is like, I'm a 20-goal guy in the NHL.
Yeah.
That'll get you on a fucking roster. And he's young.
Yeah.
So it's like he's just going to get better. But it's like this, I don't get it. This team, and I say I don't get it in a good way, a fun way. Sid's got 27 goals, Mantha 20, Russ 19, Brazeau 15, Gino 13, Dewar 13. Like they might have 6 20-goal scorers this year.
And that's like that Boston team that won the Cup. They had 5 or 6 20-goal scorers. Those things kind of matter in playoffs.
Yeah.
Compared to maybe the Boston team in 2023 when it's like, or maybe it was whatever, one of these years recently where it's like David Pastrnak has 150 fucking points and he's your best player by a mile and his scores every goal.
Yeah.
And then you get in playoffs and it's like, hey, shut him down a little bit. Yeah. And then the team really struggles. It's when you can spread that scoring around that it's awesome.
I just hope that because Kyle Dubas has done a pretty good job of making some good trades with fixing the goaltending, and Chinakhov coming in having that Russian thing going on with Malkin. I mean, they're conspiring. He's playing well with them.
I know.
Yeah, I think Malkin for him, he's like a Mad Max Fury Road blood bag. It's like he's getting more energy from his Russian buddy. Hook him up. Hook him up to the blood bag. But my fear is because it was like, what are we going to do? Are we going to build for the future?
Correct.
How do you do that when Sid, Malkin, Letang all want to do the extended farewell tour, which is like, how many seasons is that going to go? Because you really can't rebuild until they're out.
Yep, correct.
But then they're looking at the season going, well, we're better than we thought we'd be. I just hope he doesn't try to do some big-ass trade at the deadline, because it's like, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
To be a buyer, you mean? Like, you don't want to bring in someone...
I think if they want to do like one solid defenseman, right-handed maybe, because Letang gets injured a lot and he's out, and who knows, I mean, we have the Olympic break, but he might still be out. Carlson's really streaky. He could be great or terrible. So, get one good solid right-handed defenseman. Don't go for some, remember when...
Well, those don't exist in the NHL.
Well, it's true, yeah. Remember in 2013 when they went and got Iginla, Crankshaft,
right after Boston,
Morrow, and we got to the Eastern Conference Finals and we scored 2 goals, got our asses handed to us in 4 games by the Bruins.
Yep.
And I was like, leading up to that, we looked really great, and then they fucked with the chemistry.
Yeah.
To try and be like, we're going to win now. And it's like, if you would just maybe let it play out.
Yeah.
So
okay, interesting. So just you don't want a big move here.
I think they're gonna succeed or fail on their own merits that they've built. I think that they've got a big game tomorrow against the Sabres, which is going to be hard.
We want that one.
The game last night against the Islanders, they could have won. It was an OT. The Islanders are the bane of the Penguins' existence. Mm-hmm. They're just in their heads.
Yeah.
But
you guys are kind of sitting pretty sick.
Well,
and
we'll know. Skinner, man. Skinner won 4 straight to end January. He had a couple of monster performances in there, too. I think it was against Calgary at a 9.47 save percentage, and against Van in a 3-2 win, a 9.38 save percentage with 30 saves on 32 shots. We said it a million times. All Stu needed was a change of scenery.
Yeah.
And he just looks like he's happy in Pitt.
Dude, and also, man, they right now, and obviously they've been hot, but the Islanders are a point back with having played 2 extra games.
Oh, the Penguins are in playoffs.
And
I don't want them to play the Islanders first round.
Yeah,
I'd rather play Carolina.
They're probably
I know, and that's
but it doesn't matter.
But you would take that, dude. Playoffs.
Of course, I'd take the play. I'm just saying.
No, I'm saying Islanders in play. I know the Islanders have made playoffs. There's a core of that team that is used to it. But I'm just telling you, you are the Sidney Crosby Penguins. In playoffs, you are more.
You've been burned so many times by the Islanders.
The Penguins are a lock for playoffs, and that's unbelievable. Yes, they are.
Well, the Metro is really bad.
I am declaring it right now. The Penguins are a lock for playoffs.
Fucking tease me, dude.
No, they're a lock for playoffs. And I'll tell you why. Yeah, they are in second in the Metro, and I mean, unless Washington figures out whatever the hell is going on with them, I don't even think there's anyone threatening them. The Rangers are dead. The Devils are dead. The Flyers are dead. Columbus has been surging, and that's fun. They've won 6 in a row. They're 9-1 in their last 10. Insane, but they're still they're 5 or so points back. My big thing with Pitt is they have a plus 20 goal diff.
Yeah,
They are good. This Pittsburgh team is good. They're making playoffs. It's locked. Book it. Buy your tickets.
Dude, actually, you might be right, because it's just I'm seeing it.
Yeah.
I'm seeing it now.
Dude.
The Penguins.
Good luck, have fun, don't die. Came back from the future. You saw it. You saw it. The Penguins are in play.
The Penguins are going to the Cup, and Stu Skinner is going to beat McDavid.
No.
So Stu Skinner costs McDavid.
We'll be lucky if we get past Tampa.
Stu Skinner will cost McDavid three straight finals.
I think as a hockey fan, that would break me.
Dude, if McDavid,
I genuinely mean
that. Stu Skinner wins Conn Smythe and pitches like 3 shutouts in a 7-game series.
Watching Connor lose again to Sid, his hero,
and
to Stu Skinner, his friend, that would break me. I don't think I could handle that.
I just saw it, dude. I just realized.
Tragic.
Yep.
That would be tragic.
Holy shit.
All right, on that note, Pittsburgh is a wagon. They're making playoffs. Congratulations. Let's take an ad break, and then let's hop into our awesome chat with Bayne Pettinger. Folks, I know this is a hockey show, but today we're talking about football because the big game is right around the corner. It is Super Bowl week. My boy Drake May, I love Drake May. He's in the Super Bowl. We got Sam Darnold bringing the Seahawks to the dance again. It's unbelievable. And BetMGM has you covered on Super Bowl day. No question about it. They've got the big game boost pack going on right now. It gives you 3 ways to boost your payout on a winning bet for the game. So you're going to log into your BetMGM account to receive your boost pack. Then you're going to place any bet on the big game and apply one of the tokens. If your boost bet hits, you'll score a bigger payout. It's very simple. Log into that BetMGM account, get those tokens, make your bet, and see what you can win. From opening kickoff to the final snap, the Big Game Boost Pack is your ticket to unforgettable moments during the greatest game of all. And if you haven't joined BetMGM yet, you're going to use bonus code NETTERS, NETTERS, and you'll enjoy up to $1,500 of new player offers on your first wager. BetMGM is where it's at. Make it legendary. Let's go. Coming to us live from Toronto right now, a Victoria, BC native. This guy has gold medals pouring out of his ears with World Juniors, World Championships, Olympics. He's going to rub it in our face this whole chat. I know it. He's now a certified NHL agent, a certified beauty. Bayne Pettinger, thank you so much for coming on the Empty Netters podcast.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Long-time listener. So I'm really looking forward to this chat and a lot of topics to cover here.
A lot of topics to cover. We're so pumped to have you. So we got to just jump right into it. We want to first dive into your hockey background because you've done so much in the game of hockey that we're going to get into, all of these amazing things that you're working on right now. But tell the people, when did this all start for you? Were you playing at a young age? Were you coming from a hockey family? What really got you into it right off the jump?
Yeah, I grew up in a hockey family on the west coast of Canada there in Victoria, BC. And really hockey, my brother played in the NHL. He's a 1980 born, he played 400 some odd games with Washington, Tampa, and Vancouver. I was the little brother always running around. I played up to junior B, and then realized I'm better served off the ice, with my skill set on the ice. So made the transition, played a bit for Rugby Canada actually, and then started working at 19 at Hockey Canada as an internship. In Calgary. I was going to school and luckily got one of their internships and ended up being 12 years at Hockey Canada. Moved from a finance intern to manager of hockey operations when I left. So that's traveling the world with Team Canada. So from, World Championships, World Juniors, under 18s, World Cup of Hockey in 2016 there. Got to work with all the national teams and some of the guys that come along with it. The McDavids, the Reinhardts, the Sids, those guys that really, we went through kind of the program there together and some legendary stories from traveling the world with Team Canada.
Oh, we can only imagine. I do first need to know, how did you swindle your way out of the finance department? Because we both know that is not where you wanted to be.
No, I took any job to get my foot in the door. Like I say to all young people that reach out to me, it's about networking. My dad says it best. Hockey's a contact sport on and off the ice. I think it's important to have that Rolodex and build that. So all of a sudden I'm playing Thursday hockey with, Scott Salmon, Bob Nicholson, Brad Pascal, all these guys that are in the hockey ops department. And that leads to a stop by their office for a coffee. That leads to, hey, I saw an opening in national teams. And, to go with the internal candidate over someone externally, everyone's dream is to work at Hockey Canada. And I had to grind it out for a bit there and move my way up the corporate ladder. But yeah, Definitely didn't have the finance background, but it got me in the door.
Yeah. Dude, well, when you're not a numbers guy, it's hard to hide in the finance. You know what I mean? Like some other jobs you can.
It was the filing. The alphabet where they started to audit me. And I said, okay, maybe I'm better served on the hockey side.
Trust me. This is a win-win for both parties. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Bayner, I want to go back though for a second, because with all due respect to the Cougars and your run with those boys in Junior B, I want to hear a little bit about the rugby, dude, because that's sick. Mm-hmm. You were the real deal as a rugby guy. What was that like?
Yeah, so growing up in Victoria, where it's kind of the Rugby Canada headquarters, there's no snow, and if there is, it lasts for a day, so you can play year round there. So when I showed up to high school at grade 9 as my size of 6'4", I was kind of voluntold that I was going to play rugby. Yeah. It wasn't really an option. I went to a powerhouse Oak Bay High rugby school, and they saw the hockey, they saw the rugby, and I ended up playing, in Dubai actually for a world championship which is like the equivalent of like a World Juniors for hockey.
Yeah.
Lived in Wales for a bit, played some provincial basketball too. So I'm a big believer, even with my athletes today, like multi-sport, play hand-eye. You can work on that. You can work on fitness. You can work on everything with playing, and play as long as you can. I think today we get these 12-year-olds that are only hockey players. Like let's get them. Let's play some golf. Let's play some lacrosse. Let's play as long as you can, because I love rugby, and it's such a cool game, and I'm still a big fan of Rugby Canada and how they're doing things. So it's super cool to be an alumni from there as well as Hockey Canada.
Yeah, I love it, man, because and I'm so with you about the multi-sport thing, because it's everything, but hockey has become so specialized now that we have friends that have kids that are entering that 12-year-old age, and it's like, my God, if you're not being shipped off to the development program by then, you're a failure. And I'm like,
it's crazy, the microscope that they're under. I advise my players take a month or two off after the season, even AAA players. Like, let the gear hurt when you get back on the ice. Build that drive back up, so that. Because if you turn it into a 12-month sport or a year-round sport, there's burnout and the pressures and the rankings and the trying to keep up with the Joneses. Because one guy's doing power skating 3 days a week, everyone feels they have to do it, and it's a bit, I think, a problem in our game that we need to work on. And I think as advisors, we have a big role in that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. What was it for you that it clicked in your head when you knew you wanted to stay in hockey? Because it's not always easy. And I think you've actually spoken about this. It's like a lot of guys who play forever and they think hockey's the only thing they can do. They then have that moment where they're not sure what type of area they could get into, or even if they want to. But for you, it sounds like you always knew this is a world you knew you could serve really, really well, and you wanted to stay in it. When was that moment for you?
I think in university, I'm sitting there in finance courses and accounting, and guys are talking about going off to internships at big banks and this and that. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to hate my job. I want to love my job. I want it to not feel like a job. Yeah. Right. I want to go to the rink and have that camaraderie. And I didn't have the skill on the ice, but I could still be around the trainers and the hot stoves and the buses and just that camaraderie of, building with something and building and having that team mentality. I grew up with, 3 siblings. So it was always that team mentality growing up. And I think that's what, carried me into sport. And luckily enough, had a pretty good run at Hockey Canada over my 12 years there, with some gold medals and some memories.
Oh my God. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say that's a perfect transition. As you get into Hockey Canada, you're starting to work with the team. You're getting great relationships with all the guys. That's amazing. And then just immediate success. What was the first tournament for you World Championships, or was it World Junior?
It was under 18s because I started as a coordinator. And it was the test event in Sochi, Russia. So it was the year before. And so we go, and unlike this Milan Olympics, they had it all set in Russia. So they run the under 18, the spring one there.
Yeah.
So we had a double underage by the name of Connor McDavid come over. He was, he showed up. I always tell him he had his Justin Bieber haircut over the forehead. And he had played his year in Erie, but he was still kind of like, okay, who is this kid? And I think he had 3 or 4 games with hat tricks over there. He was on a line with Sam Reinhart. So these guys are 16, and you're already seeing the chemistry. Right?
Yeah.
I think we rolled through that tournament, won a gold, and then obviously back the next year for the Olympics. But that was my first one, was the test event for the Olympics. And to see that venue then a year before and then afterwards at the actual Olympic show was pretty crazy to see how they pull it together. It was all there was a rink in the middle of a dirt field for under 18s. Like literally.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Like the security station was, you like drive through, and me and Rhino always joked that they had these security dogs. We're like, those aren't even trained security dogs. They're just puppies.
This guy's pet, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. Like we'd go up and pet them. We're like, there's
He's
no
got a
way
cat, dude. That's a cat.
Yeah.
That's insane.
They're not bomb sniffing. They're looking for treats.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you got in. You got a couple snacks, couple Scooby snacks in your pocket.
Yeah, you're used to some Russian guard shaking you down for money. Now you got Russian dogs shaking you down for bones, and it's like,
back at that, and then you go back a year later, and the whole village is built, and the security, and the infrastructure, and the Olympic Park, and you're like, whoa, it's crazy how it goes.
And Bayner, was that had you traveled a lot in your life? Even like, was that nuts? Being like, holy shit, I'm going to Russia for U18 Team Hockey Canada.
Yeah, I did a backpack trip with my brother. My brother's 2 years older than me. When we were like 18 and 20 one summer, we went and like did the classic like Prague beer halls and you know, all of that, London, England, find the cheapest pub you can find and all that, but never at that level, because Hockey Canada, they do such a good job of taking care of the players and their families, even at the under 18 level, like the travel, the hotels, everything. But yeah, like there was pinch me moments, whether it was going to Pyeongchang, Korea 4 times, right? For that Olympics. You're downtown Seoul, Korea, and you're like, how am I getting paid to be here with Team Canada?
How did I get here? Yeah.
Like
awesome.
you can't draw that. Like Europe's one thing because it's a hockey country, but it was really when you go to Asia where you're like, it's the whole time zone goes back, and you're not in traditional hockey rinks, and you're out there, the Zamboni barely works, and you're like, how is the national team here? But it's cool, but at the same time, there's times definitely where, I've been all over now, to Russia, to Finland, Sweden, Czech, you name it, pretty much Denmark, all the hockey countries over there. But the pride that when you walk in with Team Canada too, it's like, we always said, it's like, and I'm not trying to, put it on here, 'cause I know you boys are American, but it's like the New Zealand All Blacks. Like when Team Canada walks in, when Team Canada walks into a rink in Denmark, whether you're a staff member like myself or Connor McDavid, people are like, they see the logo and they're like, whoa.
Yep.
Right. It's like, it would be like us seeing the New Zealand All Blacks. And we always said that with Hockey Canada, like, let's carry ourselves like that. Let's have that, because we have that reputation and pride.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Bayner. I was just going to say, Chris, it's actually funny, we talk about all the time yes, we're American, but at Four Nations, that first game, especially with all the lunacy going on with Trump and the 51st state comments, and when that arena in Montreal started singing collectively the Canadian anthem,
I was there in Montreal. I was
same.
Yeah, so were we, and I was like, I felt Canadian in that moment. I was like, the amount of just pure good-hearted pride in this country and in this game is so palpable right now. It's unbelievable.
And you guys have been to probably as many games as I have, if not more. Like, I have never seen a rink packed an hour before.
Oh my God. Dude, warm-ups. It was warm-ups were like, to the gills.
I was standing there and I was like, I've been to Olympic finals before and I've never seen the Bell Center like that, or a hockey rink like that.
Yeah. Agree. And it's
then
like,
obviously the 3 fights, and you're like, okay, grab me a beer. This is going to be a good game.
Yeah, for real. And it's like, Chris, jump into what you were about to say, but I do think that this Players Tribune article that McDavid just came out with, it's like, I've never been more scared. You are so right. The aura of Hockey Canada is real. And you're feeling it. We're a week away here. It's just coming alive with these guys. Yeah. It's exciting, and like the gals already being there.
See it, when he said, his last win was in Moscow, I was like, I remember that one.
Yeah.
Right. Like, but that's crazy for a guy that competitive that he hasn't won in 8 years. Like, and you don't think about it, but that's what drives those guys. Him and Sid and Nate is like, and that's the biggest thing that I took away from working with those athletes day in, day out, is like their preparation. Yeah. Right. Like for us, we're like, oh, we're in Prague, we're having fun. They're like, no, we have a chance to join the Triple Gold Club. We're going to win this thing.
For sure.
Right. And like as soon as, I think we added him late in 2015, we were in Prague and we had a pretty good team already. And then as soon as Sid called, I think they got knocked out in the second round. And he called. He's like, I want to come over. Usually we call guys.
Yeah.
He's like, I want to come over. I'm chasing the Triple Gold Club. And then the boys like on the bus heard it. And it was like Burnsy and Muzz. And they're like, Sid's coming over? Like, oh boy, we better tighten it up now.
Yeah. Put the booze away.
It's so real.
He has that power of, and I could just see it, even when Connor got asked about who should be the captain, he's like, oh, you think you've earned it? And Connor like laughs it off. He's like, Not a chance will Sid is still on this planet that I will captain Canada if he is on the team.
Yeah. God, I love that.
Well, Boehner, so what I was about to ask was going into when it becomes the Olympics in 2014 and you're going there, obviously it's all crazy and huge and security and everything, but is there pressure? Because yes, you are Team Canada and you're coming off the gold medal. What was it like going into that Olympics as Team Canada being like, we have to win gold?
It's every tournament you go into. Look at the World Juniors.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And people say it, gold or bust. The expectation within our media, this side of the border, our players, our program at Hockey Canada is win, or else from the outside world, everyone thinks it's catastrophic.
Mm-hmm.
I look at this year, even after World Juniors, people ask, like, is there a development program in Canada? I'm like, 7 players were in the National Hockey League.
Yeah.
Like, not loaned. That's a first unit power play.
Yeah.
That, like, I don't think it's a development problem. I think it's a one-off minor hockey tournament that you have a bad goal, or you call that a best-of-7 series. World Juniors, I think Canada wins all the time.
Me too. Yep.
I agree.
Right? But a one-off, a bad bounce, a missed call, a puck over glass, and you don't get Sam Dickinson back, or you don't get a player that makes a difference. Hey, the hockey world's catching up, right?
Yes.
But in Canada, it's very much win or bust. And I like that, but that's every event they go to, because we have set that expectation. And I think it's a good thing to have. We're not comfortable with, it's a bronze, good showing. It's like, no, and I think that's the attitude for the Olympic team. That's the attitude for every time Hockey Canada players and staff put on the jersey, that's the expectation.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is unfair that we don't give Canada the grace that people are catching up, and that's not a knock on Canada. It's credit to the rest of the world, but Canada gets no slack on that. It's like, you're still gonna win. I'm like, everyone's pretty good now, and they're like, nope, you have to win.
The Czechs play as hard as ever. The Swedes are skilled as ever. The Americans are top to bottom, all rock stars. Like, there is no easy. Latvia is going to give you everything they got. That's the thing. Like, everyone that plays Team Canada is playing with house money.
Yeah,
right?
and it's the best punch.
If you win. Like, I remember when we were at World Cup of Hockey, I was with the Team Canada, so the older guys, not North America. And our guys did not want to play Team North America because they had everything to lose. They were the vets. They were like, these young bucks are coming, and if we beat them, we should. We're all 500 plus games in the league and veterans. But if we don't, what's the matter with hockey in Canada? The new wave's coming, and it's a lose-lose. They were like, well, we can't do anything here.
It's so real. We were actually just laughing this weekend. We were looking at the top 6 goal scorers in the league right now. 3 of them are American. None of those 3 are on Team America. and you're like, what is going on here, U.S.? I want to jump back to Olympics later because we have so much fun stuff to talk about. But, continuing on your journey after Hockey Canada, you get into the agenting world. And now it's like, what has it been, 7 years or so now?
7 years, yeah.
Yeah, so you've been an NHLPA certified agent working with some of the top players in the league. How fun has that experience been for you in that transition, going away from Hockey Canada and all of the allure that comes with it, as we just talked about, now getting into the more personal side, working with players like this?
Yeah, see, and I dealt with a lot of agents in my Hockey Canada time, right? So I always had agents reaching out to me. I was running the team. So tickets, hotels, hey, can I get access to my player? So I knew all the agents and kind of what they did. And, everyone thinks it's the Jerry Maguire red wine dinners. It's a lot of sports psychology. Yeah. It's a lot of, I don't know any player that calls their agent when things are going well.
Yeah.
Right.
Great.
And that's
so true.
Yep.
That's me included. Right.
Yeah.
You put out fires for a living. Yeah. Right. Everyone, whether it's ice time, whether it's an injury, whether it's a trade, whether it's moving locations, free agency, contract, whatever, your phone rings. And for half a second, you go, what am I putting out here?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it. But, so I originally got recruited by CAA. So Pat Brisson and JP Barry. Worked with them for 5 years, both class acts, nothing but the best. JP represented my brother Matt, so it was a natural fit.
Nice, yeah.
So I was
perfect.
always the younger brother. I remember at my brother's wedding, JP, when are you hiring me? When are you hiring me? And he just said, keep going with Hockey Canada, get your feet wet, network, get another Olympic cycle or another World Juniors. Worked with them for 5 years here in Toronto, and then decided to open up my own shop. I was in the right spot. I loved my time at CAA. I think there's pros and cons to big agencies. I think there's pros and cons to smaller boutique agencies. Like I opened up with Apollo. We're really focused on the client and having a small client list and only having a couple in a draft class. But I also love working for myself. I love being able to take on who we want, work with them, see them grow. We're almost in the fall, will be 3 years with Apollo. So our big draft will be next year in 27. We could have 3 to 4 NHL first rounders that I recruited when we were, 3-4 years ago. So,
that's so cool.
to see that growth and have it where you control the brand, you control, your marketing. I'm still doing it's entrepreneur life. I'm still running all the Instagram accounts, looking for songs and, it's very much a startup, but I love growing with the clients. And I think it's awesome to be able to kind of, our tagline is modern athlete management because, I can, as my age, I can relate to the parents. I can relate to the players, right? I have my GM contacts through Hockey Canada. My time at CAA can still lean on Pat and JP as, with their stature in the game. But I think it's the perfect blend of, running my own shop, which is always I think being your own boss is always everyone's dream. And I love what I do. And, like I said, everyone thinks it's the glitzy, red wine dinners and draft parties. It's a lot of, sports psych, frankly.
Yeah.
I would say 60-70% of my job is telling players never too high, never too low. Right. You win a gold medal or you get healthy scratched as a 16-year-old. It's all about long-term thinking, staying in the moment, trusting the process, all the things you think are cliche, but these athletes have all this stuff coming at them now that, I really think, what I've gone through in my life personally too, that I can relate to being in distress and being anxious about stuff and really having that remove yourself from the moment, give it 24 hours and let's think long picture and really helping our athletes like that by being available, not having too big of a client list that you can't track your guys and your players and know exactly what's going on with them. Cause I think that's important is actually know how they're playing. Are their minutes down? Are they not playing on the special teams? Are they struggling? Have they gone 10 games without a point? Right. Or are they on a heater? And, they think that they're all of a sudden a first round lock and you got to bring them back down to earth a bit. And that's part of it is never too high, never too low. Right. And I know that sounds cliche, but I think it's important because through careers, as we know, every athlete's had a major injury. Every athlete's lost in a final. Every athlete has had setbacks, but also had success, and I think you showed it in Connor's article there, right? Like that Players Tribune. He's so hungry to win. He's been to the finals twice and lost, and that must just eat at him. And so, his injury, he had I don't know if you guys watched that documentary, but when he didn't do the surgery and rehabbed his knee solo, everyone, Sid missed almost a year and a half with concussions. Like people only remember the highlights. They don't remember the lowlights that got them there. And I think that's important to relate to today's athlete.
Yeah. I think it's Bayne, it's such a cool comment because as rewarding as I'm sure it is and going to be when it's like, oh man, these guys that I recruited when we were tiny are now we're going to have all these first round picks. Like that's so awesome from the Jerry Maguire POV where you're like, we did it, but I'm so with you, dude, that the massive perks now where you guys are at are being so tuned in and clocked in to your clients. Cause I think that goes such a long way for them where it doesn't feel like, oh, I'm just a number here. Right. It's like, hey, dude, I'm aware of what's going on. I'm aware about you, the person. Like I know who you are, the person, even more than the hockey player, right?
And I manage each client differently. Some, need a kick in the ass. Some need a hug. And you only know that by knowing your clients through and through. You know, some parents are involved. Some never played the game, right? Each file is so different. It's not just stock. Here's player A in his draft year. It's,
here's the playbook.
What situation are they in? What kind of team are they on? How was their Hockey Canada experience? How are they tracking? What do they need to work on? One needs to work on foot speed in the summer. The other needs to gain upper body strength. So they're not just on the same programs, right? You have to tweak them each individually, and because they are individuals and they're not just a hockey player that says, go do squats in the summer. No, we need to work on if someone needs track work or someone needs, a goalie needs flexibility. Those are things that you have to kind of, I call almost an agent as like a general contractor. I'm not an expert in anything, but you need a power skater, you need a trainer in the summer, you need a Bauer deal, you need a contract. I can kind of be that point of contact for everything. So the players and parents can come to us and then we can source it out. So they're not Googling power skating coaches in Vancouver. I have 4 that we've used, right?
Yeah, right.
And then they interview them and hey, you pick who you want to go with. But I see it as almost like a general contractor role, if that makes sense. And instead of building houses, we're building hockey players.
Careers.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And well, Boehner, it's like, I love everything you just said is so fascinating and interesting. And we talk all the time about how the agent athlete agent talent relationship is one of the more fascinating things in the world, because it's like you kind of both need each other. You're almost both courting each other at the beginning. And I'm curious for you in starting Apollo and what you guys are doing, the more personal approach I think is so important in this space. What is it that you look for in some of these young athletes? If there's a young hockey player who's looking for representation and is attracted to you guys and what you're building and what you're doing, what are some of the things that you would want them to know that's a great thing for a young player to do that's going to make people want to work with them?
I think, and I've never seen a hockey school for it, is hockey IQ, right?
Yeah,
when we're
wow.
scouting.
Yep.
I've seen power skating. I've seen shooting coaches. I've seen, weight gym programs. I've never seen an IQ school. So it's one of those where, we're recruiting so young now in the agency world that you go to games and kids haven't even gone through puberty. But if they're out there and they see that backdoor pass, or they're attempting to, throw, they're back checking, like compete, right? They're not just out there, going all tilt in the offensive zone and no care about back checking. Those are things that we look for. The amount of tips that I get of, you should see this 13-year-old, he's got a mustache. I'm like, I'm hoping for a good 25-year-old to sign an NHL contract, right? Yeah. I'm not looking at, the standings in the GTHL and saying, let's go get the top 10 kids because they're sick at 13. Yeah. I like to find that diamond in the rough, the kid that wasn't, at the brick tournament per se, that is a late bloomer, that has the character, that can think it, that the parents are on board for listening, because that's a big thing too. As much as they interview me with different agencies, I interview them as well. Yeah, because you don't want to go down a road where you're just barking up a tree and they don't think that they need an agent, and they don't think that my opinion matters. And not that I'm the be all end all. At the end of the day, I'm an advisor. I'm not a decider. And I always say that, right? If we're in between schools, whether it's a scholarship or a major junior route or whatever, I provide my advice based on experience, but I'm not a family decider, right? I don't necessarily know their financials. Can you go to an Ivy League? Because they don't give full rides. So, it's going to cost you some dollars and US dollars for Canadians, right? Which isn't always easy. So, or do you go with the full ride at Quinnipiac, so it's certain things that you try to provide all that you can based on your experience. But at the end of the day, the family's going to decide what they do.
Yeah.
True. Are you asked, you don't have to name any names, but if a guy calls and is like, hey, I want more ice time or whatever the complaint is, do they expect you to know, okay, here are some teams I think you could get ice time at? Like how much knowledge across the leagues are you expected to know for those questions?
I think it's like not at the drop of a hat. I always say, give me 24, 48 hours.
Yeah, right.
Like I can do some homework now with Instat and stuff online. You can see, if I'm looking at, say, a 16-year-old in the OHL, I can look at what the other 16-year-olds are playing, average ice time, power play time, all of that. So I know based on facts, if I call a GM and need to bring it to them, then I do have the numbers to back it up.
Yeah.
A lot of the time the player, hasn't done things the right way. And I mean that in that, hey, like they're not being truthful in that maybe they didn't back check or maybe they weren't great here. They never, it's like the gambler. They tell you what they won. They never tell you what they lost.
Yeah, it's so true.
I'll go back and watch their games and say, hey, I didn't think you were great here. Or, do you agree that, hey, I got benched. Okay, well, I thought you missed 2 back checks there. Like, I can call the coach, but I think we got to save our bullets here, because you don't want to be you don't want to be the boy that cried wolf all the time too, and there's a bit of, I think in our youth hockey, a bit of, let's change it up. Let's quit and move on to the next thing. I'm a big thing of like, let's stick with a team and build and battle through adversity. Because what do you think is going to happen when you're a freshman in college? What do you think is going to happen when you're a rookie trying to make the National Hockey League? You're not going to be a top 6 forward right away.
Yeah.
You're just not. There's 750 jobs in the NHL and 650 of them are on one-way contracts.
Yeah.
So are you one of the top 100 out of the world, not in the NHL? Because that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy to think about.
It's so true.
Yeah.
So amidst all of this amazing stuff like Hockey Canada, like what you're doing with Apollo, another amazing part of your story was your coming out journey. And there was that incredible article in The Athletic with Pierre LeBrun that was so wonderful. But if you're comfortable, I'd love to hear you talk about, you said that you had been out to your family and some very close friends before you did your public statement with that great article. Would you be able to tell us a little bit about when you came out to them, to your family and your close friends, and what that moment was like, and what urged you to find the strength to do that?
Yeah, I kind of knew when I was younger, I was a bit, different, not different, but just not the norm, right? I'm always an outgoing, personable guy. I think we've hung out at All-Star games before, and I'm a bubbly, personable guy. And I was so fearful to lose what I had built at Hockey Canada, that hockey was going to push me out, that, everyone's fear before they come out is that the world's going to turn on you, that you're going to all of a sudden, you're going to tell a Connor McDavid and he's going to say, well, we're not friends. Yeah. Right? Like, you think the worst when you're about to come out. And it's just human nature. Right. And I look back and I laugh now that I've been out 5 years, I'm like, what was I thinking? Yeah. Right. That was when I did it publicly. I was probably 5 years before that to my family. Right. But I was always tired of walking into a room wondering who knew, did my mom tell my aunt? And then you get the awkward question, oh, you seeing anyone? And you're like, do they know that I'm, yeah. Like, do they know that I'm out? Do they, and what's that wink for? And what, just awkwardness where you're like, you just live in this world of anxiety. And I just said, finally, I ran it by, I think I mentioned in the article there, Tyson is, was a big confidant when he was playing for the Leafs here. Yeah. Morgan Riley, obviously my family.
Bayner, can you tell that Tice story?
Yeah. It's great.
With what? It's like you guys are just drinking wine, right? Like it's him and Emma, I think. And it was you. I don't want to spoil the story, but you just said you just blurted it out because you guys were talking about sexuality and hockey.
Yeah. Emma's sister's gay and she's out, and we were just talking about hockey and some having, as we do with the berries, usually there's a couple bottles of red involved. Yeah. And he was just like, and I knew Tice kind of knew, right? And he was dealing with the whole Bab stuff and living in Toronto and first time traded. And his world was kind of upside down too. And I just said, you know what? I'm gay. And he's like, what? And he's like, that's awesome. Yeah. And I said, well, and we always joke about it. I said, well, let's get another nice bottle of wine out. Yeah. So anytime I see him now, we go to the cellar and I'm like, well, hey, Tice, I got something to tell you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's like that's your confession room. Like when you go down to the wine cellar, he's like, okay, what now?
Yeah, every conversation you have like that, I remember telling Connor up at his cottage in Muskoka, every conversation you're waiting for a reaction, right? And you think that it's going to be world ending. And then the more that you break down and you're like, oh, this isn't as bad as I thought. The big bad hockey world isn't that bad. Yeah. Right. They actually still think I'm a great guy. And you build up so much fear in your head and anxiety of, over drinking and overthinking and, and just thinking that, you have to be a certain way to fit into our game. And I think we've come a real long way from that. But it was definitely a time in my life where I was scared as hell.
For sure.
That I was like, I'm going to have to quit hockey and I'm going to have to, I've built up this great resume and great friendships and, all these gold medals and stuff, but I feel like I'm living a lie. And so finally, sat down with Pierre over a couple more bottles of red and, we did the article and, it changed my life. I broke out in hives the night before. I called Pierre at midnight and said, hey, you got to pull the article. I almost had a mental breakdown. And he said, Bayner, it's done. It's sent in and it's going live in a couple hours. I don't know if he could, but I thank Pierre. Right. I thank Pierre for that. I had a full, broke out in hives and, had a bit of a melter. And then I remember waking up at 5 a.m. and it was ting, ting, ting. It hit Twitter and the phone went nuts. And I was like, oh my God, there's a lot of people that care about you and care and are empathetic and are just genuine people I hadn't heard from in years. Right. And not that I needed it, but it was when you fear that your world's going to flip upside down, it was such a reassurance that I was doing the right thing. There wasn't, there was a couple trolls online, but hey, whatever. They're not in my contact book. I don't need them. Yeah. And I still get trolls for stuff that I speak out on Pride jerseys and on Pride tape and certain things. But hey, I'm not going to let the haters, because from that we've started Alphabet Sports Collective. From that, I do a lot of advocacy work. from that, I'm comfortable speaking on it, right? I would freeze up before. If you ever asked me, if you would have told me 5 years ago that I'd be on talking about me coming out of the closet, I would have thought you guys were fucking batshit crazy.
Yeah.
Right?
But
I would have said, there's no way I'll do that. I'll have a secret boyfriend and no, I can't do
just
that.
deal with this my whole life. Yep.
Yeah. It's crippling. And now, like, to come out the other side, and be an advocate and have that, not mentorship, but now youth come to me, right? Now through our not-for-profit Alphabet, like, people reach out to us and, hey, I'm going through this. And you can reassure them that, don't read the headlines that the NHL is big and bad. Read that Morgan Riley marches in the Pride Parade every year and he's a huge advocate and supporter. Yeah. Right. And those don't often in our media get published. Right. If you were just a fan and you read the NHL headlines, you wouldn't know that it was only 4 players that decided to not wear a Pride jersey and hundreds were for it. Right. It's the negative. It's let's not let the naysayers have that. Right. Let's focus on the good that we're doing and the progress that we're making, and not, oh my God, three Russian players or whoever said, hey, I don't, and all the power to them. But that shouldn't be what the headline reads. Yeah. And I went on the Merrick show and a few and just said, hey, let's try to turn this upside down a bit of the narrative that hockey's a homophobic sport. Because I've heard from some of the best in the game that it's not.
Yeah. I think that's so well said, Bayner. And it's like, it's, something you and I have talked a lot about over the last week or so. It's like, I think what you're doing, and I want to get into Alphabet Sport Collective because there's so much amazing stuff that you guys are doing, but it's like there's the negativity echo chamber and the way that people feed into it, and they almost want to fuel the fire of any hate or negativity that exists. But there's so much great positivity and growth and kindness and love that's going on, and the movement to push all of that forward is just so important. And I think that's what I am so impressed with Alphabet Sports Collective, because I think there are a lot of great ways that you're different than a lot of or other organizations like that, where it's like the focusing on the good and uplifting and breathing life into the good as opposed to the negatives is just so empowering.
Yeah. And you know what? We started Alphabet Sports Collective because I didn't know where to turn. 5 years ago, I typed in gay hockey players online. We didn't have these shows. We didn't have Heated Rivalry. We didn't have, what it is. It was still kind of taboo. And I said, well, why isn't there, there's people out there, but why isn't there a common space for this? Why do I have to go to a Pride night to feel like I belong? Right? Why can't this just be my everyday life?
Yep.
Right. And I think, I don't think it's a coincidence that when I came out, a month later, Luke Prokop's agent, who I know, Jerry Johansson, texted me and said, hey, Luke saw your story. Can you have a chat with him? Right. He did an article with Pierre LeBrun, came out the first NHL. Like, that's why representation and speaking your truth, I think, matters. And I think, if you're brave enough to do it, and get out there and be a face for it, I think that's huge. Yeah. Because, I also, it's part of my story, but it's not my whole story, right? I want to be a great NHL agent. Do I happen to have a male partner? Yeah. But like, that's not my defining role. That's not what I want to be known for. I want to be, but let's normalize that. Let's have those conversations so that we're not, oh, it's negative and it's taboo and the NHL and this and that. Let's have a space where, and with Alphabet, we really bring in the community. We're not external and let's go, do Pride nights and all this. We're more get members of the queer community that don't think they belong in the game involved in the game.
Yes.
If you like hockey and you're queer, come join us. If you don't like hockey because it pushed you away because you're queer, come back. Yep. And if you've never heard of hockey and you're queer, come on in.
It's a space for you. Yeah, exactly.
Right? It's a safe space where we host watch parties. We host membership. We have meetups. We have mobilization. I'm trying to personally right now get on the Hockey Canada board to have that representation, that queer voice, that so when we do make policies or we do make certain adjustments, we have that voice at the table. And that goes for not just players. That's media members. That's fans. That's, you want to be a player. You want to be a referee. Our board is made up of such a diverse group. We have trans referees. We have, non-binary people. We have members of the community. We have straight members. We have this voice that, hey, come on in. It's a safe space. Join us. And we'll get you feeling good because there's no reason to hide that. And we're living proof of it, that you can be successful and be gay in the game. And it's awesome. And why not spread that positivity and that, really, because in the days where you're leading up to it, you're in such a dark spot to have people either that are about to come out and speak their truth or are already out. It's such a turning point for them. And to have that network, something that I never had, right? I never had an Alphabet Sports Collective to go and say, I can talk to an NHL agent that has done this and had the biggest names in the hockey world support him.
Yeah, that's one of the coolest parts, I think, Bayner, is like you've spoken of Brendan Burke before and how he was somewhat of a pioneer for you. And I think passing that forward is the greatest thing that Alphabet does, right? It's exactly that, where you go, this is you can see it. I forget, you had an awesome quote that was like, sometimes if you just can't see yourself in a situation, it's impossible to dream. And what you've created is exactly that. Everyone in this community can see themselves in whatever role they want to have in hockey. And I think, God, that must be so rewarding.
And meet them where they're at, right? There's a lot of people that hate the game right now. They think that they're not welcome and that, people ban pride nights and people do this, and you read the headlines. I would think it's horrible too. But let's have a conversation, because I think I've said it a couple times. The big bad hockey world isn't that big and bad when it comes to this stuff. Yeah. Some of the greats in the game, although they may not be out there on Twitter, they are more than advocates, allies, whatever you want to call it. And, with my network, they're, if they need some support, they're a phone call or a text or something away for, people that are, whether it's self-harming or feeling they don't belong. Really, that's what it is bringing people together and make them feel good, because the day I came out was the best day of my life. And I got to continue my career. I don't think it's a coincidence that after I came out, I started my own company and started my own not-for-profit to lift some weight off my back of worrying about myself and what people think of me. Almost like, fuck it, you like me or you don't. And I take that on in my agency role. I take that on in Alphabet of, hey, if you've got an issue with it, that's on you. That's not on me. I've done that for 33 years of my life. That's a you problem, not a me. Yeah. And I'm sure I've lost clients because of it. I'm sure I've not got recruits, but I wear my heart on my sleeve for my, man. Yeah. But I wear my heart on my sleeve for my clients, and they know that. And that's why we keep the small client base. And I think it's important to be yourself, especially as an agent, because you're pulled in a million different directions. Yeah.
No, it's so true. And listen, you mentioned it. It's, we're talking about the fun and the positivity and the welcoming vibe. Obviously, the past month, Heated Rivalry did that. It was such a fun thing. So I really want to know, and I want everyone to hear your take and your perspective on, when this show was coming out, it's obviously connected to the hockey world, something that you're connected to. As an out person and former player and someone in the world, what were your expectations, your hesitations when you heard of this show? And then how did it impact you in relation to your lived experience? That must have been so crazy for you watching the show and being able to relate to so much. You and I talked about the scenes when they're in Russia for the Olympics. You were like, I was fucking there. I was in Sochi. I was, like we
where it was illegal to be gay and you get arrested for it.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there battling if I should come out or not.
Yeah.
I thought, originally it was going to be a bit hokey per se. I was like, oh, here we go. Right. But the more I got into it, the more I had people, and I wasn't streaming it the first night it came out. I was like, but I had random people that I didn't even know what hockey was come up to me and be like, what do you think of this show? What do you think of these storylines? And as they got going, right, I thought there were some unbelievable storylines of having to hide it. I've done that.
Yeah.
Right. I've hidden relationships because the biggest fear is being outed, right? That someone weaponizes your sexuality against you. That's your biggest fear, right? When you're in the closet. But as it went on, the storylines, the writing, everything about it, I thought and the way they did two separate stories, with the two separate characters, kudos to you guys for amplifying it, and not, making a mockery of it. I think it's important that people see that those are real life examples, right? Yeah. Those are things that you don't often see. Yeah. Is it a fictional show? 100%, right? Is it getting people talking? 100%, right? People that, didn't love the game before that now are coming into it. But, those conversations like he had with his mom at the cabin, I've had that.
Oh man.
Right.
Jesus,
it was at my heartstrings. I've had that. The biggest fear when his dad found him kissing on the deck there, that is someone's biggest fear. When he was having that melter, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe what he is going through. And,
Yeah.
you know, like the fact that it was, you know, Canadian, you know, partly funded. I'm proud of that. Like on Crave, like I think it's awesome. Honestly, I think it's getting people talking about the game and inclusivity. And I think that's only good, right? I think that only breaks down barriers. I think that only humanizes things. You know, I have all my young clients. Oh, did you watch that new episode last night? Like whenever would they be talking about a gay hockey show? Right.
Yeah.
But it's kind of normalizing it. And it's kind of like breaking down those barriers that, yes, these things actually happen. And I've lived those, right? Obviously, I'm not an Olympic athlete like that, but I've lived that hiding it. I've lived the going around the corner so no one sees you, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You know, all those little things that really hit home for me, you know, it was personal and it's special. And I think what it's doing for the game is awesome. Honestly, I think anytime you can have inclusivity and Hollywood and all of this stuff involved, and in the right way. You know, it didn't feel cheesy. It didn't feel here's the token, you know, it was the emotions behind it, the long summers away, the having to hide it. But then they brought some comedy, you know, and when the dad's like, oh, from before the draft.
Yeah.
You know, like,
yeah.
You know,
like
and
please text before you come back to the cottage.
You see people let their guard down in humor. And, you know, my dad's the same way now, you know, like with my partner and like I'll show up and he'll be like, hey boys, I never thought I'd say that, you know, like just, you know, like normalizing it and having that perspective and just, again, like you see something out there that, you know, if I would have seen that when I was in the closet, I'd be like, oh, okay, people are cool with this. You know, everyone's, it's the hot buzz. Every time I go on Twitter now, it's about it. That wasn't 5 years ago when I was about to come out. I was like, oh boy, you know, like now it's almost, you know, but I hope that we take that and do something with it. Right. I see the NHL doing, you know, pride nights or cottage nights. I hope that organizations like that, take this and let's get Alphabet involved. Let's do something. Let's make actual change.
Yeah.
As opposed to, it's fun to say, hey, we're doing a cottage night when Boston and Montreal play each other. You know, I've seen those, but how are we actually going to drive change and get rid of the homophobia in the game that does exist? You know, go read any online thing when an NHL team does a pride night. It's actually sickening. Right.
God, dude.
And by no means is it religious. By no means is it, but we're here and we exist and we're successful and we're going to keep being here. And by no means by our sexuality are we going to turn away from the game that we love and create a living in.
Yeah. No, you know, I loved what you just said about, you know, because we had such a blast covering this show and what you just said about doing it in the right way. I think that is something that deserves more attention. And it's, you know, a big thing that we kind of did is like the authenticity of the story is so important because, you know, so many times in media, there can be a story that's included in a show, in a movie, and it's not real. It's not authentic. It doesn't honor the character. And what I think oftentimes more harm than good is done with that. And, you know, we went into the show and we were like, let's fucking watch this show. But you do wonder, like you said, like, is it going to be hokey? Is it just going to be super sexy and provocative? And the way that those storylines, just like the quality was just out of control as it went on. And like they pulled us in and you're invested because it felt so real and authentic. And that I think is why it stole so many hearts. I think that's why one of the many reasons why we just loved it. And we keep saying it's like the love fest that it created and the way it got people, like you mentioned, we got it too. Friends who were texting us as we were talking about the show and reviewing it were like, what is this show? Should I watch it? And we were just like, fuck yeah, absolutely. And
everywhere I go, people ask me about it.
Yeah,
like,
same.
I was like, just like, come on here. Like, let's settle down.
Yeah, settle down. I wasn't the captain and best player of a team. But no, it's like, you know, I can't tell you too how much it filled our hearts when we got buddies in the NHL who texted us and they were like, hey, should I watch this show? And, you know, it was literally just like a curiosity of, is it a good show? And we were like, fuck yeah, watch it. And it's like texting with guys.
You can tell they did their homework too, because like even the situation where his mom's talking about the sponsorship deals, right?
Yeah.
And he's all dismissive. And I've been there. I've been like, you know, something happened the night before, or you get a bad text, or you get threatened to be outed, which I've had happen when I was in the closet, right?
Yeah.
You go into this snappy, and I remember my mom saying, "What's wrong?" Right? Like those are with Ilya being in Russia and it being illegal and him having kind of the fake girlfriend and saying, well, I could just marry her. Like, those are thoughts that, you can tell that they did their homework on it, of what it's like to be a closeted athlete. And that's what I really appreciated about it. It wasn't just, hey, let's go. Like, like, I thought the hockey was good, but the storyline of the battles and the struggle, of what it's like to be a closeted athlete at a high level, was I thought unbelievable.
Yeah,
I agree.
Something really cool was if you take, and I'm not dismissing the Kip character, but I'm just saying that the 3 NHL guys you're with, I thought it was awesome that you didn't get they all have to talk to their parents, right? Like, you go, Shane has to do it with his parents. Ilya has the fake girlfriend and goes through a lot of it with that. Scott goes through a lot of it with his partner, who he's like hiding, right? Like, I thought it was so cool because, Bayner, you go, oh, I had that conversation with my mom. That felt relatable to me. But I know that we have had people message us going, oh, I had the conversation with my fake girlfriend. And, that part was relatable to me. I thought it was so cool how they hit so many buckets of what that experience is and let people watching it who went through whatever various ones it was feel connected to in that way. I thought that was genius.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because not every story is fairy book ending. I'm very lucky in my story that my parents, my family, my friends were all accepting, embracing, whatever you want to say. I've heard horror stories of kids coming out of the closet and getting kicked out of their house, right? Mm-hmm. A coach kicking them off a team. Right. So that's why the anxiety exists. I think I'm one of the lucky ones with how my family and how, my life has gone since, but I'm sure there's out there, and I've heard stories of people that it's not as smooth. Yeah. Right. I think, you guys are obviously in Cali. I grew up on the West Coast, pretty liberal, fun, families that get it and accepting. There's some people that aren't, and it's get out of the house. And I've heard those stories, and it's sad. Yeah. But that's why representation and having a safe space to go to, like Alphabet, or even tuning into the show and getting rid of, the distractions in the world, I think is important.
Yeah. And so one thing I love to ask in this topic, and I'm super curious of your perspective on it, is, we clearly have seen when something so great like this happens, and we see the growth and we feel the growth and the happiness and the joy in these moments, there are still people who try to tear it down, and there's negativity that can leak in. So what are ways that, we all as friends, as allies, like you said, whatever you want to call it, can just keep helping, and ways to just keep raising awareness and keep making sure these things improve and gets to that place where it's like, yeah, this is a non-issue. This is a welcome space. The door is open for everyone.
Yeah, I think it's amplifying. It's using the platform that you have. Again, kudos to you guys for doing that and having, the live stream shows and the reactions and everything. Like, it's focusing on the positive. I think in today's world, we can get so bogged down. Like I said, with the Pride jerseys, like 4 players said no out of 750. That's less than 0.1%. Yeah. That's not even near a minority. So no, the NHL isn't that bad. It's like, there's players that love this show. They may, again, that are big supporters that may not, but they text me, hey, was that what it was like for you? So it's just keeping it positive and not the naysayers of, oh, well, this is just, whatever. And this is, it's just check, doing this. And I think it's important that we keep that momentum going, that we normalize it, that it is people's live stories, whether it's myself or other people out there, and it's not a woe is me. It's just that people are struggling. And I think to bring a light to it, and just because we work in sports doesn't make it any different. Right. I think it actually makes it harder. We live in a hyper masculine kind of, suck it up. Don't, team first mentality. It's tough to be an individual, but we all battle something. We all, have something that we don't like about ourselves. But I think I try to live it in my life too, is like, focus on the positive, focus on what this show has brought, focus on the stories of people coming out after seeing it, focus on, that stuff, the positivity, not the online trolls that don't even show their face. And I think it's just, we're giving that too much oxygen. And I think, I just think it's an awesome thing for the game to get people talking about it. And I really hope that the NHL, and teams for that matter, take this and use it in a positive space. You've now brought in a whole new wave of fans. I think I saw something like there was a 400% uptake on StubHub for a game, like a Pride game. And I'm like, okay, let's now, the business side of me as an agent says, let's bring those people in and let's have them stay. Right? Let's have them be fans. And let's have them buy jerseys, because guess what? That leads to expansion. That leads to the cap going up. That leads to more money in the system, which leads to bigger paychecks for me. So let's go.
Yep. Damn right. Yes. Damn right.
Right? I think more outdoor games, more fun.
Yeah,
like, let's not limit it. Let's keep this thing going and the momentum that it's created. And I think we'd be foolish not to, for it to be a blimp on the radar.
Completely agree, man.
Because you've got this whole new fan base ready to come in and say, oh, maybe it's not as bad as we think. And let's not capitalize, but let's use that momentum and keep this thing going.
Agree. So perfect transition again. You're a fucking legend at this. This guy should be a professional podcaster. In terms of growing the game, keeping things humming, got to talk about Olympics with you. As a guy who's been there, I don't need you to shove the Sochi ring in my face again, but I'm going to ask you to do it. There it is.
God,
there we go.
Let me get a good look at it too.
It's unbelievable. Look at that
awesome
thing.
Damn, that is really cool.
That's the Hockey Canada logo on the side. I don't know if you guys know it.
Yeah, I know it, Boehner, okay? So you've got so much experience here with Hockey Canada, with Olympics, with gold medals. It's ridiculous. What is this like for the players, for the fans, for people attached? Like, we're getting so hyped up for all of our new fans who have come in, who are existing fans. So many have not. They can't remember the last time we really dove in and enjoyed Olympics and hockey with best on best NHL players. We've got the P-Dub gals going in here. They're already there. Like, seeing Aaron Ambrose there, like getting ready for these games.
Yeah, I think they start on like Thursday here.
Oh yeah. They're like, by the time this comes out, like they're starting. So it's like the vibes are already humming. But as someone who's been there, what should people be looking forward to? And like, what are you looking forward to? What storylines? What's firing you up about all this?
See, it's funny when you're in the Olympic bubble, you're so much more focused on Team Canada itself. And in that, I mean the curlers, the figure skaters. Sure. Like I remember being in 2018 and, Tessa Virtue's across the meal hall there, and she's competing for gold in a couple hours, and everyone's like, hey, good luck. And then all the players are in the lounge, and they know that hockey's the very last event. I remember in Sochi, we won, and the boys literally had to go right to the closing ceremonies because it's the very last event. But you've got snowboarders, curlers, biathlon, all in the village, and they could be done in the first 3 days, and then they're just tearing it up in there, and you're getting ready for a gold medal game, right? So, a world championship's one thing, a World Cup, it's all hockey, but there you really feel the Olympic spirit, whatever country you're with. You're like, oh, geez, there's that person, and they're walking through the meal hall with their gold medal, and then you turn on the TV and they just had, it was a snowboarder that just won his, he's some 18-year-old kid from Japan, and you're like, what is going on here? Right? So it's that you're almost in a bubble though, and Team Canada does a really good job of that. Of obviously players have their phones and stuff, but they set it up so good with player lounges, and never is a player really sitting in his room doom scrolling, being like, oh, we got the US tomorrow. Like you have to come together as such a quick team, because one game, I think they open against the Czechs, one game, and you could be a bad quarterfinal matchup.
Yeah.
Right. I think they have 3 practices before they go, before they actually play, which may not even be in the main rink. So it is hit the ground running, but really not protecting, but creating a bubble around the players. Right. And I think they said the same at Four Nations. They try to just create this atmosphere because the noise around it. And obviously, you'll see the Olympics, half of they won't show it on the camera, but wherever the cameras are, half of the lower bowl is booked out for world media.
Yeah.
Right. That's how hard tickets are to get. If you could ever get someone in there, if you look back at the cameras, the whole lower bowl is all desks and people writing for outlets that have the media rights and all of that. It's not going to be that Boston Four Nations feel where it's fights. Obviously there's rules, but it's more, you're going to see bad penalties. You're going to see times where, like a World Juniors where you see a bad call, or you see, a goal that should have gone in, or a Binnington massive save in OT, and that split to second, it's not a best of 7. It's one game, best on best, but there's no chance that I'm betting against a motivated Connor, Sid, Nate, And nothing against you American boys, but like,
no, I know.
I've worked with some of those guys, and like a pissed off, motivated Connor is a dangerous thing.
I told you, man, that the Players Tribune article, I read it and I got so emotional on his behalf. The story about his bachelor party, like being bummed out on his bachelor party, I was like, fuck, man, I just want to give this guy a hug. But then I also finished it and I was like, fuck. Like they are winning so easily. It's ridiculous.
Well, and Coop too. Coop's going to bring them together. Coop is one of the all-time, best coaches out. I think he's the longest tenured, but he was a lock to be the Olympic coach. The way he brings guys together, both on and off the ice, is second to none, and then you get talk, you get, some of those coaches that are in there, Pete DeBoer or, Misha, you get these guys that I've worked with that, Sid's going to have the boys dialed in, right? He's obviously a Hall of Famer all day long, but this puts him in the all time if he can get this done. Yeah. Right. And I think that motivation, the drive that they have, and obviously I worked Hockey Canada 12 years. I'm ride or die Hockey Canada. So I'll be ready to go. And believe me, I've lost in shootouts to USA. They're a hell of a team. And not just saying that, the Swedes are stacked. Yep. The Czechs. Like, this isn't Four Nations. This is, I hope one day Russia can get back in there, because I think they're very talented as well. Yeah. Obviously, world politics is beyond us, but I think, if they could ever get back in there, they've got, look at their 3 starting goalies. Like, look at USA's goalies.
Insane.
Like, you're like,
Bayner, okay. It's fucking crazy, man. Like, it is like it's level. Wild. Yeah.
The talent level.
For Four Nations, Bayner, because I was going to ask you this too, that was such a cool moment for all of us, right? Because we hadn't seen Best on Best in so long. It had been years, and it felt like, surely you had the same experience we did, where I was getting texts from my, basketball friends who are like, dude, this is crazy. Like, everyone was watching hockey for the first time in a long time. Do you anticipate that exact thing again? Or did we get spoiled at Four Nations and now everyone's like, okay, I get this. I see what you guys are doing. Or do you think it's going to be even bigger?
The players will be very motivated because it is the Olympics and they've waited for it. Best on, like, nothing against Four Nations or World Cup of Hockey, but those are NHLPA run events. Yep. Right. This is the IOC. This is an Olympic gold medal. This is, you think of Athens, you think of like Salt Lake City, you think of, Nagano when Gretz didn't shoot. Like, I was on the World Cup team and I couldn't replay every game, but I remember Salt Lake when Mario let it go through his legs to Paul Kariya. I remember the golden goal in Vancouver where Sid yells Iggy. Yep. Right. I can't remember stuff like that from Four Nations, but it's on another level. To say, I think we were spoiled from a viewership standpoint. You get those fights, you're in the Bell Center, you're in TD Garden. It's prime time, 8 p.m. I just looked, like, there's a game at 10 a.m. that Team Canada's playing Eastern. So that's like 7:15 for you guys. I don't think you'll be screaming at your TV mucking pines. Yeah. Right? But,
Bayner, you'd be surprised, pal. I'm at King's Head Pub in Santa Monica at 6 a.m. watching Chelsea games, drinking Guinness. So I don't know.
You know what? I'm a Guinness guy too, but you know what I mean? Like, I think the time zone, the rules, but the players will definitely be on a next level. I think, anytime you throw an Olympic gold medal on the line, and I'm just so happy that it's back. I've been to, obviously, Sochi in 2014 when it was Best on Best, and nothing against non-NHL players, but it definitely didn't have the same feel in 2018.
Yeah. Right? I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that. Like, it is what it is.
We had great players. We got a bronze, but it's nowhere near what a Connor McDavid and a Sidney Crosby on the same power play is. Yeah. And that's just straight up facts. Right?
Remember that
and
first.
Then on the other side, you've got Kachuk, Matthews, and Quinn Hughes. You're like, oh boy, this is going to be, just stay out of the box.
Yeah, seriously.
So true. I was about to say, you're at Four Nations. Remember that first Canada, Sweden, the first peeper that Canada got?
Oh, and he just threw it kind of blind there.
Just pass, Sid, like, no look, backhand pass across the crease goal, and everyone was like, yikes.
Connor, Sid, Nate. I was like, are you shitting me?
And then just, if you want, throw it to Makar up top.
Yeah. If you want.
Just get him a give and go. Give him a touch. Give him a Tyson Berry assist.
Yeah. But what, as aside from just all the excitement and everything we're all looking forward to, what do you think that the Olympics is going to do and can do for the game, both the men's and the women's game, of just like new eyeballs? What I thought was interesting, Bayner, is like, TJ Oshie's a really good friend. We've talked to him a lot, and he's obviously so vocal about how the Olympics made his career. It's like he wasn't a household name, and he then has the shootout moment, and then, he gets a great deal with Washington when he gets dealt over there, and then he wins a Stanley Cup. I think we're beyond the point now where, especially with US and Canada, maybe you're not seeing guys on this team that you're like, never heard of that guy. It's like everyone's so good that you're like, not only do you know who's on the team, you're losing your mind about the guys who aren't selected on the team. Mm-hmm. So, what do you see as what these games can do for our game as a whole?
I think anytime you get the best players competing against each other, it's great. I'm all for, club teams, but there's 32 of them. Let's get it right. Yeah. It's diluted, right? And I don't mean diluted. Every player belongs in the National Hockey League, but if you can stack up, what Team Canada has in their top 6, to watch it, to see that speed. I think John Cooper said it after his 4 Nations. Like when he went after that final, he went back to the NHL and it felt like it was a lesser league.
Mm-hmm. Dude,
right? Just because of the speed that they play with and the drive and the emotion and, whether it's on the female side, they battle, they go head to head, they're club teams too. Now with the PWHL, yep. They're teammates one day. And, I'm sure Connor and Leon are flying over beside each other, but if Canada plays Germany, they're friends off. Yeah. Same with Canada, USA. And that's what I think is the best about it, is that anytime you can showcase the game's best. And I think the Olympics is shown in like something like 200 countries, like have media rights.
Sick. Yeah.
So whether it's France, whether it's whatever, they all know Canada, USA, Sweden, Czechs, whichever it is. But the more eyes you can get on the game, the more you can grow, right? Mm-hmm. The more exposure, the more revenue, the more showing that our game's awesome. And I think it's the hardest game in the world. Not only do you have to fly around full contact, but you have to do it on thin ice blades.
Yep.
Right.
Like craziest thing ever did. Yeah.
Basketball, football, baseball, you can just run. That's a pretty natural thing from the age up. The first thing you have to do in hockey is learn how to skate. Yeah. And then you have to do it at high speed and then have someone running at you into a hard wall with a frozen puck. Like when you actually break it down, like for non-hockey people, it's actually clinically insane what these players do.
No, it's mental. I always say it's like when we talk about the athleticism needed in this sport, it's just unmatched. Like you're doing everything in any other sport on skates with 50 pounds of equipment and a stick in your hand. It's fucking ridiculous.
And full contact.
Yeah. Let's not forget that part.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Bayner, I mean, I'm as fired up as I could possibly be for the Olympics now. So thank you very much for that. Can't wait to have my heart ripped out. But
no, don't jinx it. We'll get on after if there's a good battle or maybe before the finals.
Yes.
Break it
down. There you go. I love that. I can't thank you enough for your time. This was such a great chat. I hope you know how much good you're doing for the world with every facet of what you're working on. So to come on here and share it with us means the world. Before we cut you loose, tell everyone where they can find Alphabet Sports Collective, where they can find Apollo, how they can get involved, how they can help, all of that stuff.
Yeah, we're online, alphabetsportscollective.com, through my socials, Bayne P. Happy, even anyone that's struggling, I'm a resource, whether you're listening and you say, hey, I don't want to, I don't feel safe or whatever, or you just want to chat. I deal with people all day long, clients, non-clients. So with Apollo, same thing. At Apollo Athletes, we're building the base, and hopefully in the next couple of years, you're going to see some first rounders and some guys in the National League that I'm proud to have brought up and along, and same with Alphabet. We're going to continue to grow and bring people in and meet them where they're at, and not push people away and get on online Twitter wars and all that. I think meet people where they're at and bring them in and educate and humanize and let's keep this thing going.
Yes, sir. I absolutely love it. Well, thank you again, brother. We'll get you back on soon.
Cheers, guys. Thanks so much.
When it comes to nicotine, there is only one option, and it is Lucy, because Lucy is delivering you always 100% tobacco-free, scientifically crafted, unbelievably delicious nicotine service. It's fantastic. You got the pouches, you've got the breakers. It's unbelievable. They are the official pouch partner of Almost Friday and Empty Netters. It's absolutely delicious, and they're giving you long-lasting flavor for a seriously satisfying pouch experience. I've said it a million times. The Lucy pouch, just simply the engineering of it, is the best in the game. Let's not even talk about all of the different ways they're hooking you up. When it comes to milligrams, 4, 8, 12, whatever level you want, they've got you covered. The flavors, the mint, the wintergreen, the mango, the espresso, so much variety. Variety is the spice of life. And whatever you need a little boost of energy, boom, pop in a pouch. It's going to make you feel laser focused, dialed. If you need to get that focus in, it's helping you out there. But also, if you want to just chill, relax, get a nice little buzz going while you're winding down for the day, Lucy has you covered there as well. All of these things make it the best in the game. There's no question. So Lucy is going to be that only pouch that delivers the long-lasting, on-demand flavor, and you can find a store at lucy.co/stores, or get it shipped with 20% off your first order if you go to lucy.co/netters, and you're going to use code NETTERS as well at checkout. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age, and every customer is age verified. This is a product that contains nicotine, and nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Who is fired up to go back to the movies?
It's literally my favorite thing to do.
Same. This year, February 13th, I am fired up because from the completely unhinged and deranged mind of Gore Verbinski comes this year's must-see film, Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, where a man from the future arrives at a Los Angeles diner. Chaos ensues as he recruits a group of unlikely heroes on a one-night quest to save humanity once and for all. What happens along the way will keep you guessing until the mind-blowing end, starring Sam Rockwell. Critics are calling it absolute chaotic perfection.
I can't think of a better endorsement than that sentence. It's unbelievable. Gore Verbinski bringing you Pirates of the Caribbean, The Ring, Rango, one of the greatest animated films of all time.
Don't be thirsty. Don't be thirsty when you're watching Rango, but be ready to have a good time because it's incredible.
It's unbelievable.
Nickelodeon.
Sam is a genius. Let's go to the other Sam Rockwell, one of the greatest actors working. You know him from so many things. 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, Jojo Rabbit, Moon. He's an absolute all-star. So much of this cast. You got people from White Lotus, Ted Lasso, Atlanta, whatever you like. It's all in there. It's fantastic. This is a can't-miss movie experience.
And they've let us take some sneak peeks, and it is so funny because literally it's like, dude, it's literally like Terminator. You know, but instead of like jacked Arnold coming up, come with me if you want to live. It's Sam Rockwell in like a strainer helmet.
He's absolutely
which is just perfect. The vibe is so good. It's going to be so funny, so action packed. You do not want to miss it. I am dying at the trailer and all the stuff we've been able to see. And this is one of those in theater experiences.
No question about it. In a day where we are starved for original, fun, authentic content. No remakes, no sequels, no superhero stuff. This is the movie to see. Friday the 13th, February 13th, this movie is coming out. You've got to check it out. Do not miss it. Rated R, under 17, not admitted, without a parent. Tickets are on sale now. It's going to sell out, so get one today. Our deepest gratitudes to Sabine for joining the podcast. That was fantastic.
Delightful sit down. Delightful. We should have had tea. We should have made him some tea.
That would have been fantastic. Professor, you are looking rather ragged today.
Well, Daniel, I must admit, for a piece of content last night, I sprinkled gold bond powder into my hair.
You did.
And to appear older, as if I need any help in that category. And then I forgot about that act and went to go to sleep last night. And I did think to myself, there's a lot of powder in my hair.
Now your pillowcase.
Yes, sir. And so then I give it the old rinse. I did a rinse, but not, a shower. It was more of a rinse. But then it was caked in there. In a way I had not anticipated, and I'm still recovering. To be honest with you, recovering.
You have a PhD. You're not a scientist.
Correct. and listen, the content is king, and the video will sing. The video will sing, so it's worth it. It was worth every tangle.
I anticipated that your ragged looks might come from the fact that our mega parlay last week was utterly terrible.
Well, I would say this: when we read the matchups, I read them in order of the puck drop, and so sometimes when I'm checking the scores in real time on that Saturday, I'm going in chronological order, and you can only get them all right if you get the first right.
Yeah.
So sometimes you lose immediately. Yes. And I tuned into the Mega Parlay on Saturday, and it began as such, gentlemen. Kings, yes. Avs, yes. Pens, yes.
on a roll.
And I thought to myself, we are living on a beach.
We might do it.
We
might finally do it.
We quite literally will move to a beach.
But then...
Cats, no. Sharks, no. Canes, no. Sabres, no. Devils, no. Isles, no.
One of the worst runs in the history of the Professor Set was absolutely shambolic, as they say.
Miraculously, Jackets, yes. Canucks, no. And Feeney will answer for his crimes someday. Professor Feeney will answer for his crimes.
Terrible look for
Mammoth,
Professor Feeney.
no. Wild, yes. Knights, no. 5 and 9.
The worst we've ever done.
The worst we have ever done.
But we could always do worse.
Always do even worse. Watch me.
Speaking of watch me, the life on the line, the worst we've ever done. Knights, no. Sabres, no. Pens, yes. Sharks, no. I went 0-2. I apologize.
As you should. Get your act together, sir.
But both games were so close. It shouldn't have gone that way.
It should never. I could not believe the Sharks lost either. The Pens. If you bet on the Pens, oh, good happens. Everything else is a fucking disaster.
However, the Friday fade pulled us out of the trenches.
Surely, as it always does.
Yet again, the Blue Jackets with a Charlie Coyle hat trick fade delivered. We continue on the heater.
The fade should be studied by other scientists.
The Saturday Selly, we had Macklin Celebrini to score against the pathetic and woeful Flames. We are pathetic and woeful. The Sharks lose.
Turns out we are pathetic.
However, again, the Sunday hat trick parlay, we had the Canes money line under 6.5 and a Seth Jarvis point. The Canes won 3-2 in overtime. Canes money line, the under, and Seth Jarvis with an assist on the OT winner by Aho. What a moment.
And that is a delicious bet for the people who are doubting me.
One single play, all three became real.
It's incredible. And I will say, the hat trick parlay is a lovely payout. It's a lovely
absolutely
payout.
incredible.
So I enjoy the winnings.
We are giving you brilliant things.
We did get greedy. We did slightly and tried to entertain you even more on a Sunday with the Stadium Series hat trick parlay bonus bet. Tampa money line, Kucherov point under 6.5. Well, Tampa did win, and Kuch went off 4 points, including an incredible 1T game tire.
Brilliant.
However, there were 10 goals scored.
So the under
was under.
Obliterated. I did, however, in that game, make a bet of Tampa money line and the over right before puck drop.
Well, thank you for telling everyone, including me.
I told the entire Noel Kane team. We were there. But
you were there.
You were there.
So, listen, the fade hits, the Selly misses, the hat trick parlay hits, the Stadium Series parlay misses. You've come out on top.
Absolutely.
Come out on top yet
Absolutely
again.
Come out on top. So here we are. This is a Thursday that you're listening to this, and we have the Olympic break coming up. Thursday, the 5th, is the last day of games.
Which means there's no Friday fade.
We don't have a fade.
There's no Saturday Selly.
We don't have
no
a
Sunday hat trick parlay.
Yes. So we are simply going to adjust. We will do Life on the Line. We will do Mega Parlay for this Thursday's slate. Walk us through, Professor.
Professor Watkins.
No. I thought we were going to go, because of the similarities to a Dr. Watson, we'll be doing a Dr. Watkins.
Dr. Watkins.
Yeah.
You will be participating in this. You simply say who you think shall win when I call on you.
Do I have to have a British accent too?
No, you do not.
But I would say, if you'd like to.
Yes.
We'd love
All right. I'll do it.
Yes. That's a brilliant
I guess
one.
I'll do it.
Daniel.
Jack the Ripper over here.
Daniel, would you like to begin? We'll start with you, Daniel.
Okay.
Daniel, Pens at Sabres.
I will take the Pens.
Christopher, Isles at Devils. I'll go Isles. Dr. Watson, Canes at Rags.
I've got to go Canes.
Yes.
It's very smart.
Daniel, Sens at Flyers.
Oof, this is brutal. I'll take the Flyers.
Finally a home team, Daniel. Finally a home team. Thank you. Christopher, Preds at Caps. Give me the Caps. Give me Logan. He will be playing, yes? We don't know, I suppose.
We don't.
Give me the Caps.
I would imagine
A tune-up.
I'm not sure.
But I don't know. That's the tricky part. Dr. Watson, cats at bolts.
Oh, we got bolts, don't we?
Yes, Watson, yes. And Daniel, kings at knights.
I think I'm going to take the Kings.
Yes, the knights did burn you last week.
They did.
This is a good adjustment by you, Daniel. The Mega Parlay, Live on a Beach, Thursday edition. Pens, Isles, Canes, Flyers, Caps, Bolts, Kings. Lovely work.
I think the slate's very nice. I think it could do well for us.
Lovely work.
Now the question becomes,
If your life was on the line,
and we have 4 games to pick, which 4 will we go with? How would you like to do this? Because I dropped the ball last time.
we alternated, and I went second last week.
Is that right?
I don't know. To be quite honest, I do not know.
Well, I think
whatever we did went
let's
horribly.
ride the warmer hand, not the hot hand, because you don't have that. But
Alternates.
why don't you go first, and we'll see how we do.
Alternate. Leg one of the Life on the Line parlay. In Nashville, they need to stay calm, but Ovi's in his office and he'll be shooting. It may be raining clap bombs, but at least they're not the ones from Putin.
No.
Oh, fucking hell. Well,
Caps money line.
not his most ridiculous, which is good. All right, my first. Cooch scores 2 points a night. Kachuk still isn't quite right. The Battle of Florida may have officially swung. Cats are in a serious drought, and time is starting to run out. The fat lady has maybe already sung. Tampa is so fucking back. Florida must get back on track. But Panthers fans are starting to fear. Cats may have 9 lives, but hide your kids, hide your wives, because Bolts are pounding everyone out here. Tampa money line.
Excellent work, Professor. Excellent work. Righto, cheerio. The next leg. The Islanders let Schaefer run free with no tether, and he's put the league on notice. While the Hughes brothers have played even worse together than the brothers on the White Lotus.
I don't know. Those two brothers had chemistry.
Frankly, they might have done better, for being honest. They might have performed better. They at least got results. You know?
Yeah.
They could finish. You know? They
could
finish.
Fuck.
They might not remember it.
All right. Our last leg of the Life on the Line parlay. 2 Cinderellas. It feels like Coachella, because both fan bases are rolling on Molly. Sabres and Pens are both fun again. Buffalo folks are starting to feel jolly. With players' minds on Milan, their focus may be gone. Tage and Ras have their minds on Milanese. But Sid is no child. His mind will be dialed. Sabres lose because they got lazy. Pens money line.
Yeah.
Excellent. Life on the line. Caps, Isles, Bolts, Pens. Enjoy your winnings into the break. Treat yourself for something spectacular, because we will be in Italy and you deserve something nice too.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, Milanese.
Yes. Okay, let's no ad. We'll watch this. We will disappear in 3, 2, 1.
Thank you so much to the professors for those delicious picks. Hopefully they did better than last week.
That would be great.
Make sure to get those in right now, because it's Thursday.
Yep.
Where we got the Olympic break coming up. We're going to close this episode out with a fun game. This one is called Trivia Factorial. So I've got a player in mind. I've got questions for Chris. The first one is worth 10 points. The next is 8, 6, 4, 2, and 1. If he guesses wrong, he's out. He loses.
And I get
all
0.
points. So we can go on down the line. Are you ready, sir?
Yes, I am. I suck at this game. It's my least. It's
You
my
just
least
have no
confident.
courage. You have no courage to guess.
But I also just don't know.
Yeah, neither do I. Question number 1, worth 10 points. Despite having plans to join UMass Amherst, this American player decided to go to the OHL, where he spent 3 full seasons before jumping to the NHL.
That's a great 10-pointer because I could have gotten that if I had happened to have known it.
Yeah.
Almost went to UMass, did 3 OHL seasons, and then went to the NHL. That's
Correct.
all you've said?
Yep.
Okay.
And he's an American player.
And he's an American player. American player, OHL.
Frankly, I gave him a lot.
Yeah, that's why it was a great 10-pointer. That's a great 10-pointer. I do not know. Move on.
Okay. Question number 2 worth 8 points. With the Erie Otters, he set a franchise record with over 50 goals and 100 points in his rookie season, winning CHL Rookie of the Year. In his 3 seasons with Erie, he became the Otters' all-time goals and points scorer of any OHL player born in the U.S. He won CHL Player of the Year and is one of 2 players to score 50 goals and 100 points in all 3 years of their OHL career.
Wow.
Hey. Really? Wow, he's really good.
That is sick.
Oh, yeah.
That is a sickness. Okay, so you haven't given me any time period yet, so I don't know on age, but I have to believe this skill translated to the NHL. So I'm just thinking of like an all-time American scorer, someone who's pumping in goals, past or present.
I'm going to give you a hint.
Okay.
This guy's very current.
Okay, so he's current
So
guy.
this isn't some like old school
It's
guy.
an American guy who is scoring a ton of goals in the league, probably. Certainly he's doing all right. And he did it. He lit up the OHL. Lit it the fuck up.
Yes.
Damn.
We're going to move on.
Yep,
Obviously.
go to 6.
I think you could get it on this one.
Okay.
Question number 3 worth 6 points. In his rookie year with the Chicago Blackhawks, he became the 2nd youngest player in franchise history to score a hat trick, 4 days younger than Jeremy Roenick. He then became the youngest Hawks rookie to score 2 hat tricks, and then the first Hawks rookie ever to score 3 hat tricks, and the first U.S.-born rookie to do so since Tony Granato in 1989. His 28 goals and 52 points earned him Blackhawks Player of the Year.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to guess.
Whoa.
Bum, bum, bum.
But I don't know if this is right. But I'll die on this. I'll happily die on this.
Yeah, okay.
Because I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm hoping you went very topical to reward a great American. Is it Patrick Kane?
No, it is not.
Fuck.
Damn. That's
How is
tough.
he not the best scoring Blackhawk ever?
In question number 4 for 4 points. Despite great talent in the Blackhawks teardown of 2022, they traded this player to the Senators for the 7th overall pick, 39th overall pick, and a 2024 third-round pick. He played a full season with the Sens, but then refused to sign as an RFA. He was then dealt to Detroit for Dominic Kubalik, Donovan Sabrango, and a conditional 2024 first round, or a conditional 2024 first and a 2024 fourth.
Cat? Yeah.
Question number 5 worth 2 points. Even though he is a top 5 in the NHL in goals, this exceptional U.S. talent was not selected for the 2026 Olympic roster. And for one, a spin on his last name, this player's nickname is Cat.
I actually was weirdly thinking Cat, but I couldn't remember where he played. And then I was like, it must be, Kaner must have set all those records of like, I feel like he was pumping in goals.
Yeah, maybe not hat tricks though.
Maybe not tricks.
It was just tricks.
Where did he play?
Who, Kaner?
Yeah.
I actually don't know.
Because I couldn't remember. That's why I was like, I don't know.
Program, or did he play just in high school?
Bum, 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 bum.
Must have been.
Yeah, dev program.
Dev program.
No, OHL London Knights, leading them in scoring.
Oh shit, he was in London. That's right. That's right.
So I'm like, fuck. He was in the OHL too. That was that ended up being trickier than
Cat was a goal scorer.
I think that's the first 0 ever, but I'm
is.
happy that I guessed.
Yeah. When you said topical, I was like, this is also topical.
Yeah,
We've been talking about Cat a lot.
I was, because that actually, if Kane hadn't just become the all-time leading American scorer, I think I might have been like, I was like, oh, he's definitely doing Kane. I know why he picked that.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Well, we got our first goose egg from CP.
Comment's going to be so pissed. People knew Cat early.
Huff stuff. All right, folks, that is it for us today at the Engineers Podcast. Go on Spotify, Apple, leave us some 5-star reviews. Show us some love because we love you guys. We can't thank you enough for all of your support always. Check us out on all of the things. We've got Olympic merch coming out. We've got a live show.
Yes, sir.
On Saturday. If you're in the LA area, come to
the West Side Comedy Club.
We will be there doing a meet and greet before, having some drinks with you all. We're going to do a fun little episode, rip it up. It's going to be a blast. So yes,
Sean will be there too.
Sean will be there. Sean, if we got any Sean fans, Sean is going to be there as part of the show. So if you're in the LA area, you need some fun plans on Saturday, come to the show. We still got a few tickets left on sale. It's going to be a blast. Again, 5-star reviews. Subscribe on the YouTube if you want to see more of us. We got a ton of Olympic content coming up. Jack O'Callahan, U.S. gold medal legend, coming on the show. We'll be in Milan next week. A lot of fun stuff coming up. A lot of interviews, a lot of guests, a lot of great stuff. So we'll see you then. Can't wait to see you in Italy. Can't wait to see you on Saturday if you're coming to the show. And until all of that,
skate hard.